Sorry, guys. Brent and I just talking.
We're talking books.
Just talking books and history. That's how we are. It's how we roll. How was the weekend, my friend? Did some work.
Did some work.
He's doing a TV show. I can't really talk about it right now.
Long days, my man.
Either way, you're on set.
A little 7 a.m. to midnight these days.
Yeah, by the way. Hey, careful what you wish for. They always say if you're going to do a TV show in Hollywood, you better love it. And you do.
Yeah, I love it.
But you better love it. And when you do a 1 hour, like let's just say CSI, I've done a couple of 1 hour shows where at the height of their fame, like West Wing, CSI, where, everybody's watched them in America. And when you're sitting on that set all day and you watch the stars who have to come into a room, and I'm not joking when I say this, well, you'll get there, please. You'll get there at 5 a.m., maybe 6. You'll get some makeup on. Then you wait around. Then what you'll do is we got to get a shot of you coming in and seeing the back of the wall, and you notice something because you're a detective. So we have to come. You guys come in, you look at the back of the wall, and I want you to go, huh? And then the other person's going to go, what? And we're going to cut, but we're going to do that we're going to do that for 3 hours, and here's why. You need a lot of different angles.
Oof.
Need a lot of different angles, and the lighting's always going to fuck up, so it might take a little longer.
It's a good problem to have, though. But
it is.
But
It
I'm
just
not
can
an
get
actor.
a little tedious. It can get a little tedious.
Trust me, I'd rather be doing this than not get in the gig. But also, I'm not an actor in this.
Right.
I'm a host.
A host is
so
a big
I was
difference.
thinking, because I can't give anything away. I wish I could right now. Obviously, I'm for sure going to spoil the whole show.
Give us a nugget.
When I talk about it. But I had to do something, and I went, damn, I feel like Ryan Seacrest in this bitch.
Uh-huh.
And think about his job live on that magnitude.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
You could do
These
it.
guys are so good. I could do it. I'm
do
just
it
saying,
you do
to
it with our live
that
shows.
level, I was like, Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's a beast. It's for sure a talent.
Well, this is going to be amazing, practice for you too. I mean, it's just.
If I can pull off this, wait till people, they're like, what the fuck is he doing on that channel?
Yeah,
If I can pull off this.
Just the beginning, ladies and gentlemen. Just the beginning.
Yeah, we'll see. I love it though.
Exciting.
Yeah, so I had that. The biggest beast was on. When did we do our live show? Thursday.
Yeah.
And I shot all morning, then went straight
Long
from
day.
there to the live
It's a
show.
long day.
And then the next morning, 7 a.m. It just builds up.
The big man usually breaks down, but I will say you didn't break down. In fact, by the end of the night, you were grabbing me, shaking me up a little bit.
Yeah, I was.
You were sweating. You were sweating. You were shaking me up, and you were being a little crazy during the VIP picture taking.
Yeah, I sure was.
I was like, what happened? His
what
back
happened?
isn't hurting?
Usually he's exhausted.
He's got a third wind right now.
Yeah, I think I'm just happy.
At one point, you were looking down at me, and I was like, I think he's going to try to grab me and do something
I was
here.
going to grab you. How about the guy who did magic for us? Can I let you in on a little secret?
I know how he does those.
No, hold on. Can I let you in on a secret? I didn't want to call him out. I know he's listening to it now, and I'm sure he posted the video on Instagram. So he did the magic trick, some David Blaine shit. I was like, damn, this is legit. And then he made the card move. Well,
I saw it.
You saw the
Yeah,
string?
I saw it.
There's a string.
Yeah.
The light cleared off. And I was like,
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. How'd you do it?
It's funny how you and
I both
saw
did.
it.
I don't want to hurt
was
his
like,
feelings.
Of course not.
Sorry, brother.
Yeah.
All those guys do it.
Well, that
He was like, ba-boom. I was
Yeah.
like, that's a fish line right there. Because the light's beaming off and reflecting back at me. I felt bad for him. But his tricks were awesome, though.
they were his tricks were typical. He's a beginner magician.
You got to start somewhere.
Got to start somewhere.
David Blaine started with that.
Sure did. David Blaine started with that.
David Copperfield. You don't
Yep.
think they did it on
They
that
all
magnitude?
started somewhere, and that's
Steve Martin
Those
started doing magic?
Those two tricks are actually your staple. as a
Your
magician.
basics.
Yeah.
Your basics.
Yeah, I actually know how he does those.
Yeah,
you
I
know,
know.
but then it takes
still
all the
cool.
fun out. Yeah.
Oxnard was cool. Interesting.
Oxnard was
We had
great.
the whole squad besides Evan the Beard there. Evan the Cub.
Yeah, it was fun.
KK came. Shark Guy's Doll Smile.
Yeah.
And then Oxnard. Oxnard's interesting. I've never been down there. Never been down there.
Oxnard's got that. That's a big, expensive mall. They got a Whole Foods. They got everything there. It's all brand new
It is a
construction.
giant mall. And then afterwards, we moseyed on over to the restaurant where now if you had to, I don't know, think of the worst band you've ever heard in your life, would they be
The worst
top?
band. I'm glad you brought this up, and I'm not kidding.
This is their song. Hit me with your best shot.
No.
Fire away.
It was the worst band. I'm going to go on record. I'm not kidding.
You
it
were
was
so
the worst
upset?
band. I kept saying, this is the worst band I've ever heard in my life. It was so offensive. And this guy was singing like, she has a fast machine. She kept her motor clean. She was the best damn woman that I ever seen.
I wish
By the
he
way,
sounded
I'm
like
better.
I wish he sounded
I told
like
you.
that.
I said, I'm not a singer, and I'll sing better than him right fucking now.
They were jamming out, though, and then there'd be a guitar solo. He'd get in the guy's face, and like,
Oh, that's the best. Hey, what is that about? When your lead guitarist is playing guitar, and that guy was a terrible guitarist.
I didn't mind the
I
guitar.
hope you guys are fucking listening.
Hey, man, don't
and
go
I
bad
hope
on
you
the
guys
local
quit.
band.
Hey, here's my note. Hey, guys, quit. Hey, guys, never again. Never sing again. Never play it. You fucking sell insurance or something else that's very boring. You get your music card and license fucking revoked.
If this is American Idol, how would you shut it? How would you critique that?
I'd go, hey,
There's no X though. That's America Got Talent.
I just introduced an X to it.
Well, they already do that.
You guys, quit. Security. Get them the fuck out and hit them in their kidneys as they're leaving, please.
Give them a beat down they'll never forget.
And twist their fingers
Casino
up.
style.
Twist their fingers up. Don't break their fingers.
Go ahead and break their fingers.
Twist them up.
Don't
Twist
break
them,
them. Twist them.
Sprain them up. Sprain their fingers up a little bit. And if I hear them fucking, you play again, I'm going to have my finger twisters come by your house and you're going to get twisted up. All right?
Keely had herself a nice stack of nachos.
Keely, you wishing. It's the worst food I've ever had, too.
It was
Those nachos
so
sucked
salty.
ass.
Oh my
While we're
God.
at it.
No, they were your normal Frito tortilla chips, and they just put the cheese whiz all over the top.
The worst.
Hey man, little effort.
Well,
little goddamn effort.
The worst. And by the way, I had a plate of pickles.
We're going
Remember
bad on Hot
Oh my
Snark right
God.
now.
They had a plate of pickle. The special.
You had the pickle plate.
I was like, a pickle plate? Like, what is it? She goes, we pickle tomatoes and radishes.
It looked
Sounds
like rabbit food.
Give me a salty radish. That's exactly. That'll fill me up. Fuck,
so
am I starving? Is this 1930s Poland where I mean, what are we doing here?
I'm glad.
Turnips.
I'm
That was
glad
hilarious.
Keely and Jay rode with us to the event. Both were like, Bryan doesn't stop. Huh? I'm like, welcome to my life.
Dude, I was talking the whole way.
2 hours. Didn't
Yep.
stop talking once.
Talked hard, talked fast. Rat-a-tat-tat.
About everything.
Rat-a-tat-tat.
Random thought.
Random-
Like a
things
woodpecker
I've
on your
never
roof. Like a woodpecker on
Like
your
a
roof.
woodpecker that fucking stumbled in my cocaine stash and just went nuts.
Here's the thing, though. When you said you talk a lot, I was like, now I gotta up the ante. Now I gotta talk even.
No, you do that anyways. That's just what you do. But I was glad they could experience it.
I get pumped and excited about their live shows.
Yeah, you're a little chatty.
We got Bray at 26th.
Bray 26. That
Of
bitch is
October?
almost. I think there's 30 tickets left.
How we doing Palm Beach, November 11th.
They're moving.
Atlanta, November 10.
You talking about Hot Atlanta?
Talking about Hot Atlanta. How we doing there?
Hot Atlanta. The only thing I can think about is going to Magic City.
You guys, if you're in Atlanta or you're in West Palm
If you
Beach,
don't know what that
don't
is,
come to the
fuck
show. Do not buy tickets. Do not come to our show. But only
Oh, we're
come
in New
if
York
you like.
too, B.
And New
Comedy
York.
show.
Oh,
One
yeah.
show, Gramercy Theater.
November 3rd.
Yeah, that's the comedy.
Don't buy tickets if you
festival.
don't like laughing hard and being shocked and outraged at the same time. Then don't buy tickets.
Oh, and guess what else we're doing?
What?
I think I'm the first to announce it. They didn't announce it. We're shooting that show Hot Ones too, in New York, where you eat the hot ass
That's
chicken wings
exciting.
and get interviewed.
On the 4th, right?
Yeah, the next day.
I can't
They're
wait.
so hot. Do you see Kevin Hart do it?
No.
Oh my god, he's going whoa! Like they're so hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't
Dalia
wait.
did it too. It's gonna be funny.
Pooing afterwards is going to be a lot of fun.
Well, I was like, oh, maybe we'll fly in the second do. I'm like, what if it fucks my mouth up so bad I can't perform on the third? They're so hot, like whatever.
Nah, it's just
my
acid.
lips
It'll
blow
go away.
up. Have you ever had something really, really hot where your lips turn white?
No.
Oh, you haven't had hot enough shit, man.
Really?
Yeah, I've had hot stuff where my lips go white and I can't stop
boy.
sweating.
Really?
You gotta fuck your whole life up. Heartburn, everything. So I decided
Hillary
to do
Clinton
after.
says she carries hot peppers with her
Well, she's
because
Satan.
it keeps her energized. Like when she's working on very little sleep, she eats a lot of hot peppers.
Really?
Yeah.
I was think about their schedule. Think about a politician when they're going boom, 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 boom. Or think about like The Rock. I mean, he's shooting all day and balls deep in the jungle, shooting Jumanji. He works out. He has his own production. Like you look at their schedules, you're like, God, dog.
No, it's crazy.
Here I am complaining about 3 days. Try not to complain.
I know.
You know what the other thing is like at my house, I don't have any like sugar, candy, donuts, drinks, soda. There's nothing at my house. On set, that's all there is.
That's right.
That's all there is.
And do you walk
if it's
by,
around me,
do you walk by it?
several times.
You do, right? It's like opening the fridge and you look in there and you're like, I keep walking back to the fridge looking to find something that I'm not going to find.
Well, I just mosey
Craft
on by,
services.
and then
You mosey.
and then I'm like, well, what's not terrible to eat?
You mosey and graze.
Mosey and graze.
Do some mosey and grazing. Because your fingers, what you'll do is you'll grab some almonds at first, but then you see these like sugar-coated something.
Well, no.
wet
There's
my teeth.
almonds, and then next to those are chocolate covered almonds.
See, that's a problem.
And then
by
you're
the
like,
way,
well, why would I just have a fucking almond?
fuck almonds. They're so boring.
Yeah, and then there's those chocolate covered ones.
Almonds as nature made them? I want some almonds with some technology laid on them.
And then
I want some chocolate dipped.
For reals. And then it's midnight, and they're like, oh, pizza break. And I thought it was just that the term in Hollywood means go on break, do what the fuck you want.
That means
they had pizza.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. I love pizza. It was deep dish. I haven't had deep dish in many, many years.
Oh, boy.
Had me a slice.
Yeah. Now, my problem is if they got...
I woke up the next day, and they're like, where's Brendan? You look like a Sharpay now. Like, yeah, it's all the salt you gave me.
Sodium went to your
all
face?
the salt. Keep it healthy here.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes when they have donuts in the morning, I've never been on set where I didn't have... I'll cut a donut. I'll cut a piece off and eat a piece like a bitch.
I hate that. I hate that guy.
I'm a bitch.
I fucking hate that
I had
guy.
this guy.
I caught some guy doing on set.
I had a guy who was a union guy, one of those big guys who works with his hands. Yeah, there's nothing like set guys. They can do everything. And this guy who works with his hands, just a manual fucking laborer, but a smart guy. He walks by me, just a big old gruff guy. He goes, I cut the donut. And he goes, are you kidding me? I go,
embarrasses you.
You going to eat a piece of that donut? Is that who you are? I go, I'm not actually. I'm going to eat the whole thing,
he
man.
punked you into it?
Dude, he punked me right into it. I was like, I'll eat this fucking donut. I don't give a shit.
Jan's,
Oh, man, let me hang out with you. He just looked at me and shook his head more.
I saw this little guy eat this. He cut it was a poppy seed muffin. I fucking love muffins. He cut it in half. And I said the same thing. I went, you serious? You're 115 pounds. Eat the fucking muffin. I think you're going to be fine, man. He goes, you're probably right, and grabs both halves. And then
also, would you ever order a poppy seed muffin?
You bet your sweet ass I would. It's my favorite. My mouth is watering right now.
Take it easy, bro.
Poppy
you
seed?
got dead serious.
Oh boy, don't clown on poppy.
Bet your ass. You bet your ass.
You bet
I
your
would.
sweet
They're my
ass.
favorite.
Dude, I love them.
You love yourself a poppy seed?
My
I didn't
favorite.
know that.
Yeah, with coffee. Get the fuck out of here. I remember when I was on set for UFC Now, Verdun would film after me the Portuguese version, the Brazilian version, and I was competing at the time. So was he. You know, you never know. You could fight each other in the heavyweight division, and there was donuts, and we both. He came down center, came on side. I was like, you know, I'm not gonna. I don't want to give him an advantage. And I was like, donuts, am I right? Can't get anything healthy on set. Where's the celery, right? I'll just have this water. And then he goes, yeah, you could tell we both came for donuts. He's like, yeah, I don't eat that shit either. I'll see you in there. And we both turned, and I like looked and went back and got the donut. Then I caught him later in the day eating a donut
so
too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, because they're just sitting there.
And they're the freshest donuts you've ever had. So they get the assortment, 2 dozen assortment. And then I like to get on there because I want the sprinkled ones. Everyone loves the sprinkles. That's like your first round draft pick. You got to get it there early, man.
There's this really
And if there's a Long John cream filled, it has to be vanilla cream. I hate that Boston cream shit.
There's this really heavy actor, whose name escapes me, a sitcom guy, really funny. We're on set, and there was this cake, this really good chocolate cake. Sometimes they'll just bring a whole fucking chocolate cake
Game over.
out. And he kept walking by, and then finally he goes, shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up! What? He goes, he's fucking daring me to eat. Keeps telling me to come over and eat him. Keeps telling me to come over and eat him. I'm not going to fucking eat you. You shut up.
Oh, he's freaking out.
So funny. It's so funny. Then he goes, he walks by and he goes, I'm okay. I'm fine. I'll take one bite. You
happy?
It's great.
Dude, I sent you the picture. I sent Kay the picture too. This is ridiculous. I can't remember the last time I ran a guy down or a celebrity that I ran down and got a selfie with. Oh. And I was on set in the studio next to me. I'm on break and I'm sitting there and I'm like listening to a podcast. There's not shit to do. I'm listening to a podcast and I see a van pull up. I'm like, look at this. What's going on here? And out comes all these dudes, gay dudes. I'm like, how the fuck do I know these guys? And I think I mentioned on the show before, there's a show called that my girl's obsessed with. Now I'm obsessed with. It's called Finding Prince Charming. It's the gay version of The Bachelor, Bachelorette. It's all gay dudes.
Oh my God.
And Prince Charming, I seen the picture. He looks like like a straight human version of a Prince Charming out of
Can you
Disney.
bring him up?
You might be one of the best looking people you've ever seen. And so he's the guy on there, and they're trying to be his man on this show. It's a ridiculous show, just drama, gay drama. But
fantastic!
On last night's episode, they did MMA and took each other down, like kissed each other. It's ridiculous.
Come on.
So, anyways, I see him pull up, and I'm like, "What the fuck is this?" He gets out. I'm like, "Oh hell no, that's." I think his name's Michael. I'm like, "That's Michael from Prince Charming." And the guy, the history guy, I'm telling you, next to me goes, "Who?" I went, never mind. And I'm like, God, my girl would love a fucking picture with him. So I run up and he's like with his assistant. I'm like, yo, Michael, what's up, man? He's like, hey, like it's not a big show. It's on Logo TV.
Did he
seven,
take you in a little bit?
Took me in.
Yeah.
And if you gave me a couple drinks,
you might find yourself drinking deeply of his mouth.
go and click on that
Nobody else is
top right one for me, please. The top right where he's in the tuxedo.
looking? Oh,
sir.
well, that's a good-looking guy.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a good-looking
Oh,
guy.
he's from Spain.
And by the way, he doesn't look gay. He just looks like James Bond.
Yeah, bodied up too.
Is he?
Bodied up and makes bank. He's interior designer in Atlanta.
Wow.
He's looking for a man. So I track him down. I'm like, what's up, man? Blah, blah. I went, this is weird. I get it. My girl's your biggest fan. I watched the show too. It's pretty cool. And it's going to go a long ways if I can get a picture. He goes, oh my God, yes. I'm like, cool. And I was like, I went to go take a selfie. He goes, oh my God, let me take it. I'm like, all yours, my man.
He's got the
Go ahead and
angle.
slid them
He's got the
digits
angle.
in there too.
Yeah. Go ahead and DM me later.
Go ahead and slide them.
Let's go for a walk on the beach and let our hands roam.
Roam this dick.
You guys-
And so, sorry, man, too much. So he takes the picture, and I sent it to you, and I said, please watch your fucking mouth around this guy. I look like
That's right.
I look like a turd with eyes. You look like a fucking toad next to this
I didn't
guy.
know that's what it was. I didn't know that was Prince
That's
Charming.
Prince Charming.
Oh.
My girl went, oh shit. And I saw some come out, and two of them had tuxedos on. The others were in regular street clothes. I'm like, I think I know who the finalists are.
Wow.
The show's not that big though, but still, it's pretty cool.
Prince Charming. Brendan Schaub runs down Prince Charming. God, I wish I had that on
He was like,
video.
what are you doing? I'm like, I'm hosting a show back here, man. What's going on? Yeah.
But dude, how often do people notice your ears and say something about your ears?
Very rare.
And how often do they know what it is? Rarely, right?
Yeah, not too much.
You
Yeah,
got-
he didn't say anything. He was just asking what I was doing on set. I was like, I'm hosting a show and I do this, blah, blah,
Were his
blah.
eyes drinking your whole torso in?
Not really. The other guys were, I felt like the hot blonde at a bar. Because I was outside, like walking around,
Big boy.
figuring stuff out.
Yeah.
I felt uncomfortable. Went
Yeah.
inside. Got sexually harassed.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. It was very Trumpish.
Oh, sure. They wanted
To grab me by the,
by the man bulge.
well,
Yeah.
it was interesting, right?
By your moose knuckle.
Yeah, I can't remember. I thought that was so weird. People, you watch that shit? You're damn right I watch that shit.
Yeah.
You got to check it out. It's very interesting. It's just, because we've seen The Bachelor how many times? Seen The Bachelorette so many. I've never seen an all gay cast.
So
and they're so I was gonna say it's so weird. It's not weird. It's just I've never been around that world, so it's completely different. And they're like, it's just the drama. Like, I mean, there's one dude they don't get along. I mean, he's like, you need to get the fuck out of my. They fight like dudes.
That's what I was
he
gonna
was
ask
like,
you.
you need to get the fuck out of my room. He's like, make me get out, boy.
Oh.
And he's like, what the fuck's up? He's like, what's up? I'm like, oh, they're about to fight.
So it's different than the way women fight, obviously, because they're guys. But what is the difference when men are together like that? Because you watch both shows. Like, what's the behavioral differences?
Well,
So
the men are
guy up,
aggro.
right?
Well, the men on like the Bachelor, Bachelorette, they're very aggro. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
they're cool, but everything's like
You're talking about the straight guys.
the straight guys.
Oh, no, I
like
was
they're
talking
very
about- I was
aggro.
talking about the women,
and
yeah.
I'm saying like the gay men, they're not like they're more of like they're cool with each other.
Mm-hmm.
In that, but there's still that manly switch with like
There's still that manly
What
switch.
the fuck you gonna do?
Damn right.
Yeah, it's a little different.
So there was a guy I knew who his name is Nicholas. I love Nicholas, and he had red hair, and he was a giant man, and he was so gay, and he was the manager of a comedy club, and he was gay, and he was open, and he was proud, and he was flirtatious, and he was like what you would consider typically very effeminate. So he was like,
Flamboyant.
"Hi, how are you? It's really nice to see you." And he would flirt, and he was great. And I was close to him. We were friends.
Bet you were.
Yeah, but he was also like, "Get the fuck off the stage when I light you. Get off the stage." Like he ran that show, right? But he was really like he was effeminate.
They're characters,
Well,
right?
I saw that motherfucker. I saw a guy who was offering the bouncer money,
To suck his dick.
to fight him. And this guy was like, he was taking
Hold
the ball
up.
out.
He wanted to fight the bouncer or fight the redhead?
This unruly patron had been asked to leave because he was making noise, and then he starts offering the bouncer money to fight him. I'll give you money right now to meet me right there, and I'll fight. That's New York talk.
Yeah.
And then Nicholas goes, "Sir, can you just please leave?" And the guy turns and goes, "What are you going to do about a gaylord?" Or something like that. Yeah. What are you gonna do?
Your boy,
Gaylord called him
and
a
I call it
fag.
trucking up.
Yeah.
You trucked up,
dude. I'm telling you, Nicholas, I was so impressed because I was there. I was there in case I'm gonna help him out or
Yeah,
something.
not
The guy, you know,
Yeah, you're not gonna do shit.
I would have, but I'm like, I'm kind of watching this whole thing, and Nicholas went from this to
The Hulk.
dude. He went, oh, I would love to see you do. Please make a move so I can break your fucking neck, you bitch. And he got in his face. Believe me,
That list went. See ya.
that list jumped ship, and he became a giant fire-haired Viking ready to take it to him on the. You could see that Nicholas had grown up being bullied, but would put it down.
A demon. Yeah, they're demons.
Oh,
man.
he'd put it the fuck down. And all of a sudden I think he called him a fag, and then he called him a gaylord, started talking about him being gay.
Good luck with
Nicholas
that.
was like, I never forgot that. I had so much respect for him after that. I was like, dude, you turned it on. And afterwards, the guy left. Nicholas' calves were as big as my waist.
Yeah.
And the guy realized, I'm gonna get.
Well, you're also the bouncer. Then you got this big old. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
You
gonna
wake
get-
up
I'm
with
gonna
a
get-
sore mouth.
I'm gonna get prison
And it's not
fucked.
because you got punched in the jaw.
I'm gonna get prison fucked. That's right. You could see it. And I was just like, you turned, and he goes, I would have squashed that little boy like a bug. I mean, he was talking.
And then he turned right
Then he
back.
went right back to this. I don't take that. I don't deal with that shit. I was like,
It
listen,
is.
man.
It is interesting, man. Like,
He's a man.
but like on the show, the huge dramatic part, and obviously it's a problem in their community is. They're they're telling stories about themselves, and the one guy's like, I haven't told anyone, my family doesn't know I'm HIV positive, and it was just like douche bomb.
That's a big one.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna have to vote you off, but I guess with medication, it's really not that big of a deal these days.
With medication, what you can do,
He
believe-
talked about it. Yeah, it
You bring the
suppresses
viral
it,
load so low.
But also don't say load. But also
low.
Oh, I think you said load. But also
I said the viral load.
But let's say
low.
you and I are partners in crime, gay boys, and I'm HIV positive. There's a pill you can take where the chance of you getting are like less than 1%.
Yeah.
You're not going
So the protease inhibitors have compromised the virus so much that very little is actually in your bloodstream, and that's how you stay.
It's
from
interesting
spreading.
though, right?
Yeah. Well,
But just to wrap this up, to tie this button up here, is the difference between that show where it's all gay men and then like the Bachelor Bachelorette is, I would say they're more caring. Like the other ones, they're not like a team. Like these guys seem like they're basically like a squad. Like how was your date? Oh man, that's like they talk about it.
Oh really?
And like they care.
Less aggression.
Yeah, they care more about each other.
Not
like
catty.
Not really cat. Like there's a few that there's two that don't like each other. Other than that, it's just like they're more like a team almost. Like I'm sure they're friends outside this.
Yeah.
Where on the Bachelor Bachelorette, it's like see ya.
Right.
When they get done, they probably don't talk to each other. But this, they actually give a shit about each other. Like when Homeboy said he has AIDS, like all of them were like, oh my god, like they were crying and like they're all in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting.
Fucking A, man.
Yeah.
It's so interesting.
When I saw him, I was like, oh shit, son.
Yeah.
Should I post this picture?
When I've been around a lot of gay men, I feel more relaxed because I'm not as there's not a lot of aggro energy around. Like there's more like erotic energy or amorous energy. So I think I'll tend to be like I realize there's no way I'm getting in a fight in here. If anything, somebody's gonna try to kiss me. But
Yeah, I think it depends which gay guy you're around.
Well, also
There's
when you're my
different
age,
types.
they don't look at you anymore.
Yeah, unless it's like a younger. What do they call it? Sugar baby, but gay.
I think they call it. Well, I don't know.
It's still sugar.
A lot
baby.
of different words. There's a twink. There's a cub. There's a
now
bear.
you're talking about different things.
Yeah.
What's an older gay man?
Brian Callen. Sorry.
The,
Sorry. That popped
It's
out.
just the kid. Just for older men, the kid.
Yeah.
Isn't it interesting?
The greatest is when you see older men, and they have like a smaller, very effeminate boyfriend who follows them around. I was in
well groomed.
I was in the West Village, and I saw this fucking giant 45-year-old, muscular, hairy, wealthy, in shape but big guy. Probably could have played lineman. And he had this small, very smooth, young Filipino boyfriend. Or
Lady
maybe-
boy,
maybe-
if he dressed like.
Oh no, maybe he was Vietnamese. Does it matter? Either way, he was beautiful, hairless, and full-lipped with
Bubble
thick
butt?
black hair. He certainly did have a bubble butt. And he had tits. He probably well, he had a nice chest. He He bench presses and he squats, and that he looked like the letter S.
I'll tell you what's interesting is like on that show. The one thing I appreciate is they all have style. Like show I'm doing.
Oh, yeah.
They asked me like what would you change? But I'm like, well, none of them, and you know what's going on. None of them have like there's no style. Like their style's so bad that's a style.
What you talking about
on my show?
Oh,
on my show,
yeah.
the style's so bad that it's a style. Like that'd be the first thing.
Because they dress for utility, like sensible shoes, cargo pants, shorts, bad shirts.
And then but then you watch Finding Prince Charming. I mean, at least if I get eliminated, I'll look good going out. Like they're dressed to the
and they all work
nines.
out probably, right?
They
have good bodies.
Most of them.
Yeah.
They're smaller, most of them. Prince Charming's bodied the fuck up.
Yeah.
Skips leg day, but he's bodied the fuck up.
He skips leg day.
Never been to leg day.
I got a problem with that.
But a lot of times, like, you have muscular quads, but your calves are your calves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing you can really do.
You want your quads and you want your rump well developed.
Yeah, you don't want to skip those.
No.
Don't skip those.
Don't be skipping that stuff.
Did you say you looked it up, Ev?
Yeah, I actually can't believe how fast I actually managed to find that.
Yeah,
on Wikipedia's list of LGBT slang terms, the term for an older gay man
Silver fox
who's into younger or younger appearing men is called a chicken queen. I have no idea if these are derogatory terms or not.
God, this is
just what Wikipedia is.
Chicken queen? You know what kind of shirt you'd make for a chicken queen?
Chicken queen?
He rules the roost? You talking about cockle-doodle-doo? The chicken queen of cocks? The queen of cocks?
Does he walk into a bar and go, cock-a-doodle-doo?
Well, fellas, cockle-doodle-doo.
That's not to be confused with cock-a-doo-doo.
Cockle-doodle-doo.
As in, I have some doo-doo on my car.
Oh.
What?
No.
Where'd I go?
The queen of fucking... What is the queen?
When he comes,
sorry, the queen.
When he comes, he goes cock-a-doodle-doo.
And everyone lines up. The
Hey, cock-a-doodle-doo.
There's chicken queen.
And what do you call it? What do you call his boyfriend?
The chicken.
The chicken?
No, the chick.
You call him white meat?
Call him the chick. We should move on from this.
Why?
Went to a pumpkin patch the other day. Yesterday
let's
with the
talk
little
about
man.
this for a sec.
With the chicken?
Yeah. No.
You still want to stay
I'm
on
talking
it?
about family time when you got to do stuff.
Oh.
Do you think it makes you a bad person if you find a lot of the family stuff like that?
We got. Well, we were talking about this off air, so they're going to be lost. So my family's in town, right? We've both had crazy schedules. The only day off I've had to see them was Sunday. Yeah. The only day I didn't work. It's my only day off. It's tough because it's your only day off. You want to rest. You know what I'm saying? You don't have a lot of, like, my job's speaking and entertaining now, right? So when you're on your day off, it's tough to stir up that energy. Yeah. You need to recharge the old batteries. My family's like, wow, Brett sucks these days. Because whenever we see him, he's exhausted. Well, you only see me on the off days.
I had food poisoning yesterday, and it was bad enough for me to not really be able to get out of bed until about 12. What my wife reminded me is when and she said, we have to go to a funeral.
Whose funeral?
My neighbor's, an older man, wonderful man, who died, and his wife was so distraught. They've been married 53 years. And I loved that we would see them all the time in Calabasas.
This is in Calabasas?
Yeah. And she's a wonderful,
Let's take it easy.
Wonderful
You lived
couple.
there for a year, but yeah, keep going.
Yeah, well, 2 years, but still
Not
2
that
years
good
I
of a
saw them.
friend.
They were always very sweet people. But she was devastated, and my wife was close to her because remember my wife would always talk to her and stuff like that, to see each other all the time. So my wife says we're going to this funeral, and I go, I'm sick.
I'm having a funeral on this toilet right now. And it's dark days.
Oh yeah. I'm shaking tar.
My ass is on its last breath.
Fucking shaking tar. My asshole was going like this. I'm exhausted. No more.
Please don't put me in a dark.
I'm so sorry. Oh, one more time. It was bad. I know. Sorry. Now listen.
You look a little dehydrated. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I was bunched up, Bob. I haven't had some water. I need water. I need some water.
You need.
I'm a little dizzy right now. I don't have
need some coconut
electrolytes.
water and a fucking hot towel and a nap.
Sure do. And
Stat.
And I'm lying in bed, and I can tell my wife is like, she comes in and she goes, well, we have to leave here by 1, so you make up your mind. I'm sure you feel bad, but I'm just saying it would be really nice for us to show our face and go there. And I said, and I'm lying there and I'm going, I don't feel good, and I got to drive an hour to this funeral, and then I'm going to have to. It's gonna
Oh,
be,
not happening, sir.
Wow.
Oh, there's nothing.
But the guilt inside me,
What guilt?
as I'm lying there, I'm like, God damn it, she's going to be mad at me. I'm going to be mad at me. And and I sucked it up. I got in the shower and I went, and there was nowhere for me to sit when I got to the funeral home. And I was standing.
Shit down your leg?
I didn't shit down my leg, sir, because I hadn't eaten anything. And I was just not eating. My body was killing me. My hips were hurting. My hips. You know, food poisoning is weird because you get a
you
weird
all
pain
achy.
in your goddamn pelvis. I'm like, my pelvis is aching right now. And it's just weird. And so I'm sitting there and I'm standing there, not sitting there for 2 hours. And when we went up and I said to her, it was very moving because this dude was 90 and had lived a life. His family
That should be a
loved the
celebration.
shit out of him.
Yeah.
I mean, so many people showed up. This is a man, a life well lived. You could see it. Put everybody first. Made a lot of money. Great guy. A Jewish wedding. Jewish funeral, I should say.
Hey, man.
Jewish funeral. And, but this was a man who lived a good life. His family loved the shit out of him. They're all
Ton of
crying.
people are
They're all
there.
crying. Oh, man. I don't know how many people. Probably 300. A good showing. People.
You and I
shut up for a
die right now.
9-year-old.
There's 3 at yours, 2 at mine.
That's correct, sir. That's correct. And I got emotional when they were talking, and his brother and his kids and his grandkids were talking about this guy who would tell stories, who made his family first, who would sing songs, and everything else. And when we went up to her, and she was being hugged by all these people, and she was in a waking nightmare. She just was
She
like,
92?
She's older. Holding it together. Her grandson's holding on to her. Her little grandson didn't know what was going on. It was just, he kept hugging his grandma right behind him. And my wife was crying, and I went up and I said, and she looked at me, she goes, oh my God, I can't believe you guys showed up. Like, she couldn't believe that we showed up at the funeral. She was so
support,
overwhelmed with everybody,
yeah.
and she started to cry.
Oh, that's cool.
Hey, try not crying in that situation. I was like, I gotta go. It was good to see you.
It's all right to cry in that situation. I don't know why guys are always scared to
embarrassed
cry.
I'm embarrassed by emotion.
I don't get why.
You would cry.
I don't give a fuck. What do you
Yeah.
do? Make fun of me? What?
Right.
I'll cry and I'm just gonna slap you around. Like I never
Slap me
get.
around with tears in your eyes?
I never got why guys are scared to show emotion.
I am.
I never got that.
I find it
Your
embarrassing.
dad should be disciplined.
My father always
That's
considered
why.
it a weakness.
Yeah, there you go.
He said that.
There you go.
Don't get emotional. Emotions are for the weak. in society.
Not really,
That was
Pops.
the old school way
Yeah,
of
that's old
teaching,
school.
right?
Yeah.
And a lot of cultures are like that with men.
Funeral, I can for sure cry though.
I think so.
100%.
I think it's appropriate to cry at funerals or things that are glorious. Like I was listening to. I like to.
Funerals are the worst though.
If you guys, if you're listening, please YouTube James Baldwin, the great African American author, novelist, when he went to Cambridge University in England in 1965 and debated William F. Buckley. Just YouTube that. Watch 25 minutes of that speech. What it was.
25 minutes.
25 minutes of what it's like to be a black man in 1965.
Yeesh.
Just go ahead and please.
you did that after the funeral?
No. Yes, in fact, I did, and I wept. I wept through that. Do yourself a favor. It's James Baldwin debates William F. Buckley
you
in
said it,
1965. Yeah, change your life.
Yeah, no one does well at funerals though.
And glorious things. One person standing up and shouting into the abyss. I am here. Hear me roar. I'm alone. This is an injustice. Those kind of stories. Those make you cry.
Oh,
when
gotcha.
people have courage and they
gotcha.
stand up. How about when Gandhi, when they said, remember Mahatma Gandhi, who's leading India on a march to independence against the British Empire and without violence, not letting any of his followers use violence, but rather sit-ins and being non-violent about it. And they said, what do you think of British civilization? And Gandhi said, I think it's a good idea. I think it would be a good idea.
And you start crying?
I just love those kinds of, that kind of courage. One man who stands against the tide. It's very dramatic. It's how I feel on this podcast sometimes.
Interesting, B. I thought you were
I break into a song? Are you not following me?
No, I got nothing for you. That's interesting.
Glorious. I'm talking about glorious things.
No, I hear you, man.
Yeah.
I hear you, brother. I hear you. You excited to go on Rogan tomorrow?
I'm excited to go on Rogan. 2 o'clock, I'll be on Joe Rogan, on the Joe Rogan Experience. We'll be getting down, getting real.
Talking politics, I assume?
I think we'll talk politics. I think we'll talk life. I think more importantly, Joe and I always talk about the trends of thought and how destructive they are.
Oh, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about the podcast. I got one for you. Did you listen to Rogan and Dan Blitzerian?
I did listen to Rogan.
Because you know what we found very interesting, and all our followers, you started following Dan now.
I sure did.
That's interesting. After all that shit you talked about,
You know what? Because I listened to him. I'm glad you brought that up. I listened to that podcast, and I came away with a really positive view of Dan Bilzerian. I mean, he seems like a good guy. At least he went through buds twice. I didn't know he was in the military for 4 years. He seems to be an effective and good gambler. I think, and he was very open about his challenge now at 35 when he's ticked off the bucket list of sensations he's experienced. Because it's all sensation. 5 girls at once, sex 9 times, speedboats, guns.
Now, yeah.
These are sensations.
That's
these
his
are,
life.
These are things that satisfy your immediate urges.
Well,
and
that's the
appetites.
normal for him now. Like it's not it doesn't do it for him
So
anymore.
what happens is, as we talked about, what happens is you lose the ability to stimulate. Once you have satisfied those appetites, you as a human being need more. So
But those aren't accomplishments like that, and
go.
that was your problem with Dan when you went bad on him. Was like
it's not that inspiring.
They're not accomplishments. Right. Like posting a picture, with a girl with big tits, and and at the beach on Vegas or the pool at Vegas. That's
and to his credit. The reason I by the way, I started following him I don't even know why, but to his credit, he knows that. And to his credit, I think he's been upfront about, I think if you spoke to him, I don't know him, he would probably say that my next challenge is to figure out how to make my life fulfilling. You and I had a long conversation about what accomplishment really means. And I was talking to these guys, to Evan and Callen and Michaela,
before I came in?
Yeah, about the idea that you can craft your life into a masterpiece. And what I mean by that, and this is really important as somebody who's almost 50 to kind of share, is that what matters and what's fun, and you have now discovered this, Brennan, is that real fulfillment comes from getting very good at something. And more importantly, maybe even being creative around that thing, sort of sitting down and brainstorming.
That's in our world, though.
But it can be in anything. It can be in a business. It can be in anything where you are looking at what's a better way to do X, and if you can't do that, I would suggest getting better at a skill, whether it's playing the guitar or whatever, if you have the time. There is not only great joy in that, but there's also great lessons learned that you apply to other things in your life. And I think life is too short not to do that. And I recognize that there is an element to life where you have to pay the bills and do the things that are necessary. We all have that, but doesn't mean to the exclusion of what really matters, which is doing things that excite you. Because you and I know that once you start doing things that excite you, once you start doing things that require you to tap into your creative side, to tap into the imagination, and put that imagination to work, very little compares to that. Very little.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'm not impressed by it
skydive.
anymore. I'm more impressed by like a mother of 4, like a single mom of 4 who hold down the fucking fort. Like, to me, that's insane. Like with one, like we have all the help in the world. Like we need help, we make it happen. You know what I'm saying? We're fortunate. But like I was thinking about the other day, like a single mom of 3 or 4 who fucking figures it out.
Right. But what is she doing? What's she doing there? She's putting 4 other people before herself, and she's being creative about she's working with the resources she has. And she's got to be very creative. That's a beast. So that's another example.
Hardest job in the world.
Especially when you turn your kids into, successful citizens.
I can't imagine.
And there are moms that do it every day.
Oh, I know.
You're right. And you're right to place your admiration there. Oof. Because to me, and I think Dan Bilzerian was pretty open about this, there is something about, I guess, when you yourself are the measure of all things, when you're the beginning and the end, your appetites, and also how you showcase yourself. I don't know if I don't know how that's not that inspiring to him.
Dan's in it. Well,
he's different.
I like Dan. He's and I'm a fan of him. I'm not hating it. Yeah. He's in a different lane because what's he create? Like, there's no show. He's not doing stand up. He's not doing a skill. There's no.
Right.
It's money. I guess you'd say, well, poker. Did he make all his money from poker? That's what he said. So let's say he did. But so I guess poker's his challenge. But as far as that other stuff goes,
he doesn't play it anymore. Apparently.
Oh, he doesn't?
No, he doesn't play poker anymore because he can't compete with the younger guys. because apparently now
They do it nonstop.
They do it
online.
nonstop, and there's computer program.
Yeah.
There are computer algorithms that can tell you how often somebody bluffs. And
I think he's a badass dude. And he also figured out what works for him, and his Instagram is cool and stuff like that. But yeah, for him it'd be figuring out.
I liked him because he seemed very transparent. Like I liked him because he seemed very honest about.
Wow, that's what.
That's what I got from him.
Interesting.
I mean, I don't know. There's a question of whether he won all that money gambling. I got from my, and I may be completely off, but my antenna told me he was telling the truth all the way through. I don't know. I don't know anything about poker.
I don't know enough. About
I didn't get that he was. I didn't get that he was a blowhard. I got that he was somebody who was pretty honest about his life in general and his limitations. But again, I mean, what I think is fascinating about that example is that you can have everything you think you want. You can be an example. He's got some crazy number of followers because I think people go, I just want to see what that would be like. Like I just want to fantasize about putting myself.
He's living like the
Sultan of Brunei's,
Scarface movie,
Yes.
chicks
living in a movie.
He's living. Yeah.
Yeah.
But remember, those are pictures off Instagram, which are the 6 best seconds out of his day.
Right.
Like Instagram is not real. Yeah. So when he takes those pictures with those girls, all right, so he's having fun in that Vegas pool, or if you see a picture with me and a girl, it's fun for that one picture. Mm-hmm. Then after that, I mean, it's life. Mm-hmm. They have their feelings. You got to go get food, figure shit out.
Yeah.
Like it's not.
That's right.
Instagram's not real.
No.
That's all. No. The 6 best seconds out of your day.
And I'm sure he would agree with that.
I'm sure he's dealing with all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, he said it doesn't really do it for me anymore.
We can only do that for so long.
But he said, I feel like I got to keep it going because I got such a following. So where do you go from here? Where do you go from there?
For him,
and more importantly, what does that say about life?
Well, he has an app coming out which is smart.
I know, but okay, you know what I'm saying?
Well, it's a business.
Business.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get tired of the business. Sometimes you get tired of saying nothing, but generating income. That for me, I would.
What do you mean?
For me, if I was just generating income and if I wasn't doing something,
he's not doing a show though. Like he's not doing creative shit.
Yeah, I don't think you and I could do that.
Well, we're not Dan Blitzerian. He's famous for doing baller shit. Like he's not doing a show.
I'm talking about a larger.
There's no creative.
I'm talking. Yeah, and I'm talking. That's
like he has an app. As a team, they came up with this app where it's kind of like World Star, where people submit their badass pictures and stuff. Then he reposts it.
No, I'm talking about a larger point though, which is that as a human being, the responsibility for a human being is to figure out what is fulfilling to you. And I would suggest that there are ways to go about that are effective, and then there are ways to go about that where you can see somebody doing something and you can predict, at least I can predict, that you're going to run into a wall when you do that. When your life becomes about material things, fast cars, hot women, private jets, and a lot of attention.
I think it depends on person. Like
I don't think it depends on the person. I disagree.
Like I can't answer. I can't answer for someone.
Oh no.
I'm saying I can't answer for someone.
But see,
also,
that's a cop-out.
I also think it's a cop out to say, do what makes you happy and do that. Like it's tough because if you asked me 4 years ago what made me happy, it's different than like you can change that.
You
vision.
can, but I think what changes that vision is when you are exposed to the things that actually have always time and again proven to be fulfilling. That's when you change. When you show someone the difference. If you don't know the difference, what happens is you spend your life, and you see this all the time in Hollywood, chasing the nice cars, the huge house, status, the attention, the camera. And what happens in there, and I've seen it 1,000 times, and forget me, there's so many studies on this. You get all that, and what is the saying? I climb to the top of the wall and I don't like the view. I climb to the top wall and I don't like with the wrong wall.
Yeah, but you change the view. Like you're gonna have a goal. Like you can't have one life goal and then expect to get it and everything's all good. Now, if anyone thinks like that, you're just sadly mistaken. Yeah. So for Dan, when he got out of Navy SEALs and started making money, he was like, man, I want to fuck a lot of chicks. I'm going to get famous on social media, then I'll figure out from there. He climbed that mountain. He's on top. He's like, cool, I did it. Now I'm going to go back down, climb this mountain. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that.
Well,
That's life, by the way.
A lot of guys, when they do that, realize they actually become way less materialistic. You'll see a lot of guys who climb to that mountain at a young age, and by the time they're 60, they get downright aesthetic. Seats. They become people that are kind of renounce the pleasures. They become almost monk-like.
Well, if you're doing it till you're 60, you're just a dumbass.
Yeah, but they become monk-like because they go, I went down that road, I found no fulfillment. Now I'm back this way, and they end up. See, Dan's somebody I would imagine is honest enough with himself, and he's a searcher.
We don't know him well enough, but
there are certain truths to the human condition. I think there are certain ways and paths that are faster to human fulfillment, to experiencing the full spectrum of fulfillment, than there are other ways. And I think if you're following, again, if you're chasing attention and money, my experience in my 50 years, I found that is usually a dead end. You need a certain amount of money. You need a certain amount of everything else. Status is a fun thing to have, but you got to be working on other stuff as well. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
I'm saying there's a bunch of mountains. You're never going to have one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you can climb any mountain you want. It's going to be the same view every time you get there.
Yeah, probably.
I'm telling you.
That's a good point.
Any mountain you climb, it's the same view when you get up there.
Right.
You just have to keep on keeping on. There's going to be a bunch of different
Well,
mountains.
I know so many people have plenty of money. I mean, and it's like, what's driving you? Well, I just like building things. I mean, after a while, you have an endless disposable income. You can do whatever you want. You got to keep building. You're right. That's a good point. No matter what mountain
You're also
you climb,
talking about successful rich people where money's not an issue.
right.
Big difference. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Like those people already have money.
Yeah, you need, when you don't have money, it's all
Big
you can
difference.
think about. So once you have a certain amount of certainty, but then if you have too much certainty, then you need adventure. You need to.
All I'm
have a
saying, I
little
thought it was very interesting. You're following Dan on Instagram now
Yeah.
because you were just the biggest hater.
Well, because I like admitting I'm wrong. That was why I did that.
You think you're wrong already off one podcast?
No, I mean I was very judgmental, and I ended up
It's
liking.
like going from the
I don't
fucking
agree.
Dodgers to-
No, I don't agree with the way he lives his. I don't agree with that stuff. That's
You don't
never
agree,
made
but
sense.
what I was telling you, you don't agree with his. This was our original. You don't agree with his Instagram. You don't know Dan, is what I'm telling you.
And when
that was our argument. Remember?
Well, no. Well, that's not entirely. I don't agree with you there either.
How else would you know Dan?
What I was protesting
He's
was
never done any
wasn't-
other interviews. He's
What I
done
wasn't,
no TV
what
shows.
I wasn't protesting. The man himself is a little bit irrelevant to me. Like when I listened to Joe Rogan and Dan Bilzerian, I ended up liking Dan Bilzerian. Like I ended up being like, that's the kind of guy I could hang out with. He seems intelligent. He seems honest with himself, and I just enjoyed listening to him talk. That had nothing to do with my judgment. Nothing. What I was judging when I did, and I stand by this, was that kind of showcasing, that kind of effort, and that kind of lifestyle ultimately ends up being what I would consider empty and not inspiring and not even interesting in any way. And ultimately a dead end. And I 100% stand by that. And I think Dan Bilzerian would agree with me. And in fact, on the podcast, he basically did. That's what I was saying. That I don't understand that kind of prolonged effort at sensation. I don't understand that kind of prolonged effort.
I have to go back and listen to our argument.
That's what I was, whether or not I articulated clearly.
Yeah, that's not what you were really saying.
That is what I was saying. I know exactly what I was saying. I haven't changed since then, believe me. I know exactly what I was saying. And because I know in my mind what's important, and I happen to think I'm right when it comes to human effort. I know what's important and how to live your life. And I know how you shouldn't live your life. There are,
Wow.
and we live in a
You got some
society.
answers, brother.
Yeah, I do.
You
We live in
solved
a
the
society where it's very
life code
unfashionable.
here.
No, we live in a society where it's very unfashionable to make a stand like that. It's very unfashionable. It's always like this. We live in a very relativistic society, which is very new, by the way, to the idea that, well, everybody has their own way and everybody should just live and live. Well, who are you to judge? Well, we all judge. So if you say you don't judge, you're lying.
Well, social media is only judgment.
Well, but as a human being, there is a way to live. And that when you, again, I'll say it again, when you chase material
Dan seems pretty
sensation.
fucking happy, though.
I'm not talking about Dan Bilzerian.
I know, I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
Dan seems pretty happy.
I told you I like Dan now
Yeah.
that I listened to the podcast. That's why I followed it. Because it was an admission that I was judgmental of a person before knowing them.
That was my argument,
Yes.
Bryan.
Yes.
I said, you do not know him.
If-
You're going based off his Instagram.
If you listen to the podcast with Joe Rogan, you will also see that I also said, what's he like? Joe said he's a nice guy. I go, I'm sure he's a nice guy. And I'm being a little judgmental right now. I
on the
admitted
show?
that. Yes, I admitted that on the
Oh, we'd
podcast
have
because
to
I didn't
listen.
like the way I was talking about him because I didn't know him.
That's all I said. I said
Yeah.
you don't know him. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
judging, Kim Kardashian.
And that's why I followed him because it was my admission.
Now you like him.
Yeah, you judge.
You know
somebody
what
because
picture you're
think-
gonna see,
You
though.
think you know them, and you're right. You think you know them because of their Instagram. You think
Which
you
is
know them
hilarious.
because of the way they behave, and then you hear him and you go, "This dude is a cool
He's a
guy."
character.
and he's done some stuff.
He's
I mean, he's
a character.
Yeah,
Yeah, that Instagram's a whole. It's a character.
it's a character.
Yeah.
I mean, he's even honest about taking steroids. He's like, I take TRT.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, this guy's great.
Yeah.
He decided to go extreme in one direction, and I think there's something to that. I think he said, I'm gonna go as far in this direction as I can. I'm gonna do everything that every kid.
So
has
you
ever wanted
you
to
like him because he's transparent.
I
But
like him-
before
I
when
like-
you just
I
thought
actually two
before
things.
when you thought he was just a guy who chased chicks and posted pictures, selfies and stuff, you weren't a fan.
I was commenting on that as a sole effort. Like I was like, if that's your drive and if that's what you're doing, I think you're gonna end up. You're not gonna end up doing getting what you're looking for. That's a larger philosophical point that I hold. But what I do admire him for is his transparency and his commitment. His commitment to total and complete and transparent hedonism.
His dream.
I'm gonna fucking satisfy my stomach, my dick, and my eyes to the fullest. Like he's living every man's fantasy. And how interesting at 35 he goes,
Next.
yeah, next. That's what I'm talking about.
Interesting.
It's a little bit like this one professor who wanted to. He wanted to. I think he teaches philosophy, but he wanted to teach nonviolence. And what he did was he joined the special forces first. He became a soldier and went through training. He was a Green Beret, I think, and then was in the Vietnam War and lived a very violent life. And he wanted that experience so he could have the perspective of one extreme, so that he could then come back and teach the opposite philosophy, having been over there. So he had the full spectrum of experience. I admire people like that because we all have preconceived notions. We all have prejudice. I do. We all do. Regardless of how fair you try to be, we all have, triggers where we don't like that, or that doesn't sit well with me. And
Yeah, I don't know. Like the dance stuff, I think it's cool what he's doing. That makes him happy. I literally don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying?
well, but
I didn't follow him. You know what I'm saying? I've never followed him. I think what he's doing, if that's him,
but
and
that's
he's
not. That's
happy-
kind of not what I'm even talking about. I'm just
No, I
talking-
get what you're
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about. I'm just saying when it comes to that stuff, like I'm in my own lane. You know what I'm saying?
But
I don't care.
it's a huge part of our culture.
Huge,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think it bleeds into discourse. I think it kind of tends to take us off the rails about what's actually what we should be talking about sometimes. There's a lot of distraction out there, man. There's a lot, says the guy who just started following Dan Bilzerian. There's a lot of distraction, right?
So the guy who gets distracted a lot.
Fuck yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I'm like a bird dog.
The worst ADD I've ever
Of
seen.
all time.
Of a grown man.
Yeah.
But what were you saying about distraction, how to deal with it?
That's what I'm saying. The way you deal with it is know the difference and know where to find the good stuff. Know where to find it.
Interesting, man. What do you got, Ed? Let's do some current events.
All right, let's do it. First one, got to kick it off with our boy Jason Ellis.
Oh,
Yeah, he fought Shane Carwin in a literal tied arm behind his back match.
Now, this was a surprise to you, Brennan, right? This is
At
a real
Ellis Mania.
surprise to you?
no, I don't.
I'm kidding.
I mean, Jason's my boy. I'd never go bad on him. I think he kind of knew. Like Jason, when I went on a show that same week, he's like, "What's the worst going to happen?" Yeah, of course they expect me to get knocked out. Like, all right, I get knocked out. I live to see another day. Like I was in there with Shane Carwin. I pleased my fans and stuff like that, and showed them that I have the balls to do it. The one thing about Jason, he even said this. He trained his ass off. So he's like, all right, if I get knocked out, at least I did the best version of me in there. You know what I'm saying? So definitely took some balls.
A lot of guts.
He literally thought he was going to go in there and like win the first 2 rounds, and thought Shane was going to get frustrated, and then he was going to give Shane his right hand. I was like, dude, I'm telling you, man.
He was going to give Shane his right hand?
If he won the first 2 rounds, he's like, all right, let's see what you got.
He had no idea, huh?
Yeah, I mean, listen, Jason's been in there at wild card, with some straight pros and hangs in there, goes like 5-6 rounds with these monsters, man. Like Jason can box.
That's impressive.
But Shane Carwin's Shane's probably 285 pounds here.
Oh my God.
Like Shane's he's a truck, man. He's a
My
monster.
God.
And Shane's not the guy you want to do this with. The people go, why don't you do it? I would never do that.
Because you wouldn't want to hit him.
No, A, I don't want to be part of that. B, I just don't want to do. I don't want to. I have no interest in.
It wouldn't make
doing
you
it.
feel in any way. You'd probably feel bad if you had to open up on him.
Yeah, I wouldn't knock Jason Ellis out no matter what, even if
Right.
he's hit me hard.
Right.
Shane, you land one punch, he's gonna want to get you back. That's Shane. Shane's an animal, man.
But you did call it. You said you were kind of like, I don't like this for Jason. This is not good for Jason.
Calling it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like anyone, Keely could call it. She never boxed
But
in
he
her
has
life.
one hand.
It doesn't matter. Like literally, even anyone's like it's a.
But you've always said that with pros. Like when I've had friends who train a lot and they're actors, and I'm like, well, he did really well against him in sparring, and you go, you're talking about a pro fighter. It doesn't matter what you say. He would get knocked out.
My favorite when people go, he's so small. I'm like, oh yeah, I know he is small. You know what he would do to you? Like, it's like size. Like people just have no idea. Man.
They have no idea.
They have no. I mean,
until you've been in there with somebody who's really good.
When they said he's so small, were they talking about
anyone?
TJ
Dillashaw.
Oh, gotcha.
Dimitri.
Yeah.
Name anyone in the UFC.
Yeah, you look at him and you're like, man, you're a lot smaller.
Oh, it's hilarious when someone who's like 6'3" will say like, or over 6 foot or something like that will be like, oh yeah, I could kick Demetrius Johnson's ass.
Oh
Like,
my
dude,
God, my man.
you have no fucking idea what you're talking about.
Or it's like when you saw Daniel Cormier, you're like, God, I can't believe how short he is. Like, nah, I get that. Yeah, and he had the polo on,
yeah,
buttoned
it
up.
looks like nothing. Yeah,
Nah, I get that. Yeah, one of the greatest fighters of all time. He could beat up that entire room all at once.
I fucking love it.
And that's why it drives me nuts when people always talk about size all the time.
Yeah, because I was looking at the size difference between you and him. I mean,
It's
there's
skill.
It's
skill.
And I was like, damn.
It's all skill. It's all skill.
All skill.
It's all skill.
Incredible. That's what makes it so great.
Unless you get a guy who's twice the size of DC and he has the same skill,
Yeah,
then you're
different.
going to have issues.
Different story.
What else you got, Ev?
All right, next one. This got sent to us by a bunch of the Fighter and the Kid fans. This happened over the weekend. This diver, the scuba diver, was in a cage. He was checking out some great white sharks. Threw a tuna into the ocean. Shark barreled right into the cage, knocked basically the entire cage wall out, and got into the cage with this guy.
Did he bite the
and
guy?
He survived.
Can you
Yeah, I'll play the
can you make
video.
it bigger?
Yep.
Oh, they're taunting him with a tuna?
They threw him a tuna.
God, dog, he's in that cage. That's a big old great
For
whitey
sure,
white.
make it a better fucking.
Look at the one guy about to jump
All you
in.
can do is throw your hat.
Oh shit! Ah, poor
He just
shark.
wants out. He just wants out.
Hell
he wants
yeah.
the fuck out.
I like the guy who's trying to pretend he's gonna do something, but he's too scared to jump in the water. Just keeps taking
Dude,
his hat
you gotta
off.
jump in that cage, but I'm not jumping in there.
Nah, what are we gonna do? Go and stick your face in there, bro.
What do you mean somebody's in the cage? You know somebody's in the cage.
Yeah, that tube's tied. It'd be how funny it'd be if they just pull it up.
Look.
Oh.
So yeah,
Get
that's it.
The only thing hurting this was the shark. If you realize the shark had, cuts on its gills.
Dude.
And poor shark, man.
That shark got in there. I was like, get me out.
Fuck's
Hey,
sakes.
make the cage a little stronger. When we go shark diving in Australia or wherever, I want those cages with very thick bars.
Well, don't bait it with a goddamn tuna and then bring the tuna close to the cage. I'm all set.
what you wanted.
I can see him from here, for God's sake. He's the size of a bus.
God, beautiful water.
Wanted the close up.
Yeah, that water was
Almost
nice.
got him killed.
That
Water
water
was
was nice.
beautiful. What a
I'll
nice
tell you
water to die in.
Again, it's a good way to go, man.
Yeah.
If that happens, it's good. If you and I died by shark, all good.
Yeah. Not probably
This is
at
in,
the moment.
This is in Mexico.
Of course. I'll tell you where I'm not
Guadalupe
shark
Island.
diving. Mexico. Australians they've been dealing with them fucks for a while. No, I'm going to do it in Australia. We go to Australia, South Africa. I feel like we're all right. Mexico, I'm never bungee jumping in Mexico. Yeah. I don't drink the water in Mexico. Yeah. There's none of that shit going on.
Safety regulations.
There's no cartel fucking bus tours going on in Mexico. Yeah. I'm not doing any of that shit.
Yeah.
Shark diving? Nah.
I will say that.
Guy got back at it the next day too.
Did he?
Yep, went scuba diving the next day.
I don't blame him. That wasn't that scary.
He must have
He's
been
not gonna
down.
need-
That wasn't
underneath.
that scary.
I'm not.
No,
No,
great
because
white shark in an enclosed
but
cage
he's not.
with you.
No, because the reason why that doesn't scare me at all is because that shark's terrified. He's
Yeah,
like, "What the
trying to get
fuck?
out,
I want out, man. These guys are trying to. I'm not. He's not trying to hurt anyone.
Right.
He's trying to get out.
Yeah.
Like the only thing that got hurt in that entire scenario was the shark.
Yeah.
He's bleeding from the gills, the fin. He's hitting steel.
Well, that's from the tuna. I think the blood's. I'm assuming the blood is from.
I don't think
Can
so.
you bring up David Blaine swims with great white sharks? I want to show you something. This is wild, and I want to tell me if you would do this, because he held his breath.
I'm gonna tell you if it's real too.
No, it's real. It's real. It's
See, my
100%. It's
man.
100% real.
Easy.
I promise it's real. He held his
Easy.
breath and he ate a banana underwater while
How do you eat a banana underwater?
you'll see while giant sharks, giant great
Are they
whites.
great whites?
Yep, and it was off Guadalupe
Oh,
Island.
this is the same place.
He really did do this. Watch this.
How long is this video, Ev?
35 seconds.
Watch this.
Where's he at?
Well, he's right there,
Oh, there
buddy.
he is.
Yeah, and you see that? That's his jacket. He's in a tuxedo.
Sick.
And he kept his heart rate low because the guy told him that your heart rate wants to stay very low so they can't sense your heart rate. Stay very calm. You don't have a lot of skin showing. You don't look like food. He said the sharks look like see, I got a way better one on his fucking phone. What is this?
I don't even see any sharks.
I see all tunas.
Yeah, I'm just
No,
seeing
you
a
gotta
bunch of
get-
tunas.
It said
There's,
great
there's an
white.
amazing that one. David Blaine dressed for dinner. Right there.
Dress for dinner.
Watch this. And he showed this to me on his phone and I was like, what the
Yeah, fast forward a little, Ev, because it's all right. They're hyping up the sharks. He's in a tux, looks identical to Shark Guy's doll smile.
He sure does.
They look identical.
Your brother and David Blaine look exactly
identical.
alike. And now this is go back, because here he's just riding that thing around with the great whites.
Well, let's see him with the great whites. I'm gonna fuck.
You're going
he's
to.
on
You're
him.
going to. There he is.
He looks identical to Jay. They
He
look
sure does.
fucking
They
identical.
do, right? Watch
How
him,
can
watch
you
him.
eat
Watch him.
underwater?
He can hold his breath for 17 minutes.
I know, but how can you
Slows-
eat underwater and the water doesn't shoot
Well, it
down
wasn't easy for him. Wait, if you go back, you'll see the shark circling him as he's eating that
Sure, it's
banana.
back and not forward.
Yeah, I'm sure. But if we go
figure
forward,
it's
we're gonna
at the
see
end.
him with sharks for God's sakes. There we go.
There we go. Yeah, go ahead and go back for a second. I was like, aren't you afraid? He goes, they're very curious animals. No.
Curious animals.
Now, that's a great white. That's a day off of the coast of Los Angeles. I think near Guadalupe Island. And, well, there he is. Kept his heart rate real low. Just sat there and didn't move. Look at that.
Damn, he just hold his water and he can see underwater.
No, he said he could just see giant shadows as they were going by him.
Is he eating another banana?
He's gonna he's gonna eat a banana underwater
He's moving all
while
slow.
great whites move around him.
It's
David's always
interesting.
been obsessed with doing crazy shit like this. How do you eat a banana underwater? And now he's gonna ride.
Do you want to look at more of it, or
I'm good.
He takes one of those little scooters.
It's
underwater
weird. That did
things.
nothing for me.
Well, I think when you jump in the water and you take a weight belt that submerges you just a little bit
He's
under.
floating?
And you got great whites, and there were more than one. Giants. Giants.
chilling? I
20
know.
footers circling you. I think
weird.
that's pretty interesting. And you can't see.
No, he's a badass for
Yeah.
sure. I'm not
To
saying
me,
that.
that takes balls. I'd be very afraid.
Now, if they chum the water, put a little hang a little chum around.
Well,
them.
they did.
They chummed it.
Well, that's how you get them there. They 100% did. See, the way you get the sharks to come around is you got to chum water. See,
Is all blood in the water?
well, it's not blood. It's fish.
Fish guts,
right? So you
well,
gotta
it's fish blood
right.
too. Chopped up fish.
Sure.
That's how you get the blood in
So
the
now
water.
that's how they go. Is there a bunch of dead fish? And all of a sudden you get these monsters, and they'll keep showing up. See,
They
what
told
happens
they
is-
told him as long as he stayed calm, they won't fuck with him.
Well, the guy, he had a conversation. He said, you keep your heart rate low, you don't move, and he's in a suit, so the shark doesn't see that as food. So the shark specialist, but David just, he'll wear a weight belt, so because you can't just submerge, you got to
No,
submerge.
yeah.
So the weight belt will take you down. Just with the density of the water will dictate where you are, right? I think that's how it works. I don't know. They inflate. He's probably got both an inflatable vest and a weight belt, so you can play
he's
with the
not going
buoyancy,
up and
right? So
down.
you stay there, and now you know the shark's already in the water, and the water's being chummed.
He's nuts.
So go ahead and get in the water.
How many views does that have?
It should have. Well, it was part of his special.
125K.
Not a lot.
But I don't know if this is on his channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, his special we've got a lot. That to me is.
You think it'd have more. I don't know why. And I like David and I love sharks. They did nothing for me. I don't know why.
Well.
Maybe I need to see, you know why? Maybe because I saw in clips.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's got it on his phone.
I love
when you
it.
see it on his phone, you're like, dude, oh my Lord. Like, oof. Because he was
What
talking
else you got, Ev?
All right, we got 2 more.
How long ago was that?
about 3 years ago, I think.
That long
This
ago?
was posted 4 years ago.
Oh, damn.
4 years.
Damn. And did he just release that, though? Why only 125,000 views? That's
know.
insane.
Yeah.
Maybe it doesn't push his YouTube channel that hard.
I think there was an issue. I think that he didn't release it maybe on a special. Can't remember what it was, his first one. And then I don't remember. But anyway.
He does some crazy shit.
He does
though.
some crazy
That's crazy.
shit.
He can hold his breath that long.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he has a really moving TED talk about it. He said, I was trying to come up with tricks for how to look like I was holding my breath for longer than anybody. And they were trying to push tubes down his throat, and you could see them trying it, and there was no way they could do it. He was trying to do all the research, and he said, then I thought to myself, what if I do the craziest thing in the world and actually do it?
I heard Lance, I think it was Lance Armstrong, was talking about how he did something where it's considered kind of cheating when he did it.
Sure, maybe.
Something with his blood level and the red blood cells.
Oh, yeah.
Lance like,
He doped the
it
shit
doesn't
out of his
count.
body.
Oh, it might have been Rogan's podcast, another podcast, might have been a TED Talk or one of those big idea podcasts. They had on an elite surfer. They're talking about him going, he's like, yeah, I can hold my breath for 7 minutes. And like, oh, well, David Blaine did it for 17. He's like, different. Because when he did it the night before he did this, we don't do that.
Oh, they like hyper. I don't know what.
Yeah, he did
He
something.
like hyper oxygenated his blood.
And probably
or
blood
something
doped,
like
right?
that.
He oxygenated his
I don't know
blood.
if he blood. I wouldn't say. Well, I guess it is a form of not like what we're thinking, like EPO, but he did something where he raised his counts. I'm not taking anything away from him. Everyone in this room could do that, and we still.
He's
couldn't
coming next
fucking
week.
do it.
We should get him on the podcast, have him talk about it.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Now people are gonna be expecting it.
Huh?
Now people are gonna be expecting him to come on. That'd be sick.
I'll call him. He just texted me.
That'd be
So
cool.
He's coming. Yeah, I'll get him on. Bring him on.
Next week for sure.
Yeah, I'll text him.
Name dropping right now.
All right.
What else you
You
got?
ready to
F?
jump next one? Mm-hmm. All right. So, if you guys want to watch the video, we can. I have chosen not to because I just don't want to deal with all that. But I figure you guys would have pretty strong.
I don't want to watch that.
You guys would have strong.
I don't want to watch
opinions
that.
on this.
I don't want to watch that.
I don't want to watch
It
that.
makes me
Son
too
tells his
depressed.
mom died.
So this his mom, this guy's wife, died from a heroin overdose, and he wanted to. He thought that it could possibly help other parents or other kids or whatever by posting the video of him having to break this news to his I think 8-year-old son. To his 8-year-old
I got an 8-year-old
son,
daughter. I can't do it.
because don't do fucking drugs because this is
Yeah.
what it could lead to.
Definitely don't play that video, Evan.
I can't watch
yeah.
it.
That's
I can't
the
watch
worst
it.
current event you've ever had.
Well, but it's also an
really
interesting current
choice
event.
to
Yeah,
make.
it is. It's
So hold on. So he filmed it just to get drug awareness out there, and this is the effect you have on families.
Yeah, he recorded it as a cautionary tale, and now it has over 34 million views.
I get it. I think you could make the argument he did everybody a service. It does raise awareness. If you're thinking about doing drugs, you might have to say goodbye to. You're gonna hurt your children, and that's the reality of heroin
I think
addiction.
everyone knows that, right?
Until you really see it, I think it may have the effect of causing people to
man.
think twice before they start doing opiates.
I mean, the three of us won't even watch the video.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because I have a pretty good idea what the fuck's gonna happen.
I just can't see.
I don't need
I can't see
actual thing.
a child's heart break.
God,
I
that
don't
his
wanna see
mom's
that.
dead.
But I appreciate
That's
it.
some dark shit.
34
good
million,
for him.
34
If it
million.
helps someone, good for him.
Yeah.
because it's weird. It's a lot of times people will post videos of their kids fucked up on drugs at after getting their teeth pulled or something like that, or things can get more serious. But a lot of times it seems like there's an ulterior motive, or maybe it's not the right place to do that, to put that moment out into the world. That kid's gonna grow up having a video of him getting the worst news of his entire life available to every one of his classmates, to everyone he knows.
That's fucking tough.
It's
man.
a tough choice to make as a parent because you're trying to help, but at the same time you're putting your kid in a pretty weird situation.
Well, you're not
Basically,
helping the kid.
indefinitely.
You're not helping the kid or yourself. You're helping others, I guess. But that kid's gonna be tormented by this video for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
The worst moment in his entire life has gone viral, and 35 million people have seen it. Now, does it help the drug user who's may see this video? I don't know. It's fucking tough, man.
Yeah, it is.
I definitely don't want to see it.
Yeah, me neither. So
34 million views. Fuck, that's a lot.
All
That's
right.
a lot of people, man. That is
That's about
34 million.
That's
Hold
about
on.
34 million more than David Blaine's shark diving video. Think about that.
Yeah.
Him diving with sharks, kid's mom dying of drugs. 35 million, 100,000.
Wow.
It's a bummer, man.
Yeah.
Is that 34 million is roughly 340 Rose Bowls full of people? A Rose Bowl has 100,000 people, right?
Rose Bowl.
Rose Bowl doesn't seat 100,000, does it? Michigan does, or Texas A&M
the big house in Michigan can seat up to 120, I think.
Is it 120, 110?
They put in like extra rafters or some shit. I don't even know where they found the room, but for like one of the I think it was a Frozen 4 hockey game, and it was like 120,000 people there.
I think that's extra seats.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah, I think they're 100
actually,
plus.
I think it's 3,400. The equivalent of 3,400 Rose Bowls full of people.
Rose Bowl seats 92,000,
Oh, no, wait.
and the big house.
Sorry, guys. I'm so bad with math. Yeah, 34. Okay, so
The big house seats
it's the
110.
equivalent of 340. If it seats that many people.
There's a
100,000.
shitload of people.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people.
Lot of
Like when you
people.
put it into context like that, though, like you see a stadium full of people, and go ahead and put that's 340 of those stadiums.
It's a ton.
Huh?
Well, Michigan's, you said 110, right?
The big house
So it's more
seats
closer to
110.
Michigan.
Look
Okay.
at how
Well,
fucking
about
big
the
this
same.
place
Let me see.
is.
Let me see.
The big house?
Okay, so that would be 340 of those.
That's a shitty picture.
Watched it. Come on, man. Seriously? Amazing.
That is just an insane amount of
It's
people.
amazing. It's amazing.
But most people aren't watching it to learn something. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
It's
they're watching it to have an experience or to see the unseeable. I don't know.
to see a kid get his heart broken.
What do you think that
Yeah,
does?
I think I'm good on
Does
that
that make us
front.
more compassionate to people?
I don't think so. On this, I'm usually down for educating people and but I
You think it's a private thing that shouldn't be
100%.
Especially because the kid.
Also, drug users aren't leaning. I'm like, oh my god, thank God they showed me this kid dying or the kid getting news of his mom dying because I'm an addict and that's gonna help.
I don't know. We don't know.
If you're an
though.
addict, we kind of do know. I mean, they know.
It might help future addicts. It might help people who are thinking about getting into heroin. Do you know what I'm saying?
It's one thing to know it, and it's another thing to see it.
Raising awareness, like crack cocaine, stopped being used because people started to realize what a dead end drug, and what happened was in a lot of the neighborhoods where they were using a lot of crack, they were like, crack is for fucking losers. I mean, literally, because when you see enough people pay that kind of a price for it, it becomes people start to shun it. They're like, that shit's poisonous. That's
I think kind of a
plague.
good example is like how we know a bunch of animals die in slaughterhouses to put meat on most of our plates, and when most of us are fine with it. But when you see those like slaughterhouse videos, those have turned a lot of people into vegans and vegetarians. It's
Kind of.
It is a different thing to see it.
Well, no,
versus-
kind of.
but
I
here-
saw
here's
those
the
videos and I
question.
went to McDonald's an hour later.
Okay, but here, yeah.
My life changed
Jesus,
no
savage.
different.
No, but here's the
An
question.
addict's different.
It
though.
raises a bigger
Yeah,
question.
An addict's big.
It raises a bigger question, and that bigger question is this. Since we know heroin is illegal, and there are a lot of laws that say you can't do heroin, it doesn't seem to be working as well, right? So we still know that regulation and laws and enforcement have not been that effective at stopping an example like that. It haven't been effective at stopping the heartbreak of children, the loss of parents, and all that stuff. So maybe the answer would be, hey, guys, this is what heroin actually looks like. This is what it really looks like, and this is the real price you pay.
is the result
Yeah,
of
so
it.
you're raising awareness so individuals can make individual choice.
Well,
Because we have to get back in this world to saying you are responsible for your actions, man. The government's not going to come in here and save you, and it
Government's
shouldn't.
not doing shit. Have you seen like those intervention shows? Have you seen those?
Yeah.
Those make you not want to do drugs. I mean, you see people they're addicts. They lose their life. Their family hates them. Like that.
Yeah, but I think I think
I
that's
will
cynical.
smoke weed and watch intervention.
No, but I mean, I think there's an accumulative effect to raising awareness.
Well, look,
right?
to your point, 16 pregnant.
Yeah,
It's
there you go.
Teenagers' pregnancy's down since that show because teenagers are like, man, I'd love to have a baby. Oh, just like a Couch Patch doll. This is so cool. Then watch that show and like, holy shit, it's a lot of work.
There you go.
And so awareness is down.
There you go. So maybe it does work. That's what I'm saying. I think that's probably more effective.
Well, I guess like you said, the laws aren't working. No one gives a fuck about the laws. Like,
Right.
what? No one
Right.
cares. So I guess it's better approach than what we're doing. So parents, go ahead and film every terrible moment of your kid's life and upload to YouTube.
Oh man, no, but I understand also. I do
Isn't gonna
understand
fuck
the
up your kid at all.
squeamish nature of that video where you go, "Oh man, you know, I get it. I feel the same way." So
Can you imagine, like, when they told me I'd never play football again in high school? My dad's like, just a second here. I hate to do this. Coach, can you break the news one more time to him? I'm trying to get the angle here. And go now.
oh my god,
All right. Yeah, no more emotion. No, you're never, ever playing again. Ever. There it is.
dude, they did that.
There it is.
On candid camera,
And
they
set.
did that to a guy. He had always excelled, and they came in and they go, "So we've looked at all your stuff, and we feel you're the kid was 16. And he goes, feel you're good for manual labor, and you will be doing manual labor." So the kid puts his head in his hands. They're like, ah, everybody's laughing. Like, hey man, I don't like those kind of jokes. I don't like pranks.
No, that.
Did you ever see the TV show? Do you think you're scared, or are you scared?
Yeah.
Where they'd fucking. Like,
Serious shit.
I mean, these girls are in a car and these guys come out with masks and chainsaws. The girl's like, ah!
They go through the whole thing and then show like
Dude.
a dead person. They're like, who's fucking with you? Just fucking. They're like, but no one was like, oh, thank God. Everyone's like,
Fuck you.
Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, they took that off the air. Hey, that's not funny.
no, because I think someone freaked out.
There was this girl in a
The show's
shower.
about to, like, remember the show Punked, how big it was? Remember they punked The Rock and he's about to whoop someone's ass?
No.
Yeah, they did this thing with The Rock. Like they did with Justin Timberlake, and he was like, oh my God, I'm so scared. I apologize because something happened. And he was like, oh my God. And they're like, just kidding, you're punked. He's like, oh, you crazy. But they did it with The Rock, and he was like, I will beat, like, he manned up, like, whoa, no, this is all a joke. He's like, dude, what? Like, it's a joke. He's like, oh, okay.
Oh, I like it.
Certain guys are like, what? I will punch you
They don't
directly in
fuck
the
around
face.
with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't.
It depends who you're doing it
Well,
to.
I saw on YouTube this girl. She's like, my friend's terrified of demon clowns, and you see the girl there, and she puts on a horrifying mask, and she has an axe, and the girl comes home after a long day, and fucking her friend's
long
like,
day.
"Ah," and the girl jumped and I think she had put a rope on the front, and she fell down. She jumped out of that house. So it was the craziest thing I've ever
She
seen.
get hurt?
Of course she got hurt. Of course she got hurt getting out. And then the girl's like, I'll kill you.
No, I don't like that,
I will
man.
kill you.
Yeah, The Rock doesn't. They do it to him, and he's like, dude, like, you know, I forget what the prank was. He was like doing some dance or something. They come on set. It's like a set thing. Forget exactly what it was. I haven't seen Punked in forever. That's I mean, certain guys aren't going to.
They kidnapped in Japan. They did a thing where she's a pop star.
Of course.
She's a
Japanese
pop star.
take it way over the top.
Of course, she's a pop star, and the manager didn't know what was going on either. And this group of masked thugs kidnap them and bring them into a truck, and they've got them kidnapped. The girl's crying, and the manager starts fighting back, and he starts beating up the guys.
And they're like, whoa.
Yeah, and he
Did you
kept.
see what
hitting
happened
them.
to Paris Hilton?
No.
Oh, she's suing him now too. There's I think it's an English show or something like that. They go in a plane. They have like and she's going in. She's in Dubai.
Yeah.
And it's all a prank. Everyone on set knows it's a prank. Everyone on the plane knows it's a prank. And the pilot's like a beast. And he starts pretending that they're gonna crash.
No,
he's
it's
going.
not funny. That's not
And
funny.
she's like, "Oh my God!" And she's crying. And then the plane's all fucked around. She's like, "Oh my God!" And they're like, "Just kidding!" And she's like, all right. And then she's suing the show.
Of course, when you have that much going on in your life, you're busy, and you want to do that with me.
No, it doesn't matter
Fuck
what the
you.
fuck's going on in your life. If the plane's crashing,
not
that's
funny.
not a prank.
Right.
man.
By the way, it doesn't matter. Oh, by the way,
No,
you're
what do you
right.
mean going
It
on
doesn't
with
matter
your
that
life?
I'm busy. It just don't do that.
Fuck
That's a good
Paris
point.
Hilton. It could be a janitor.
You're right.
The plane's gonna crash.
What? And by the way, I don't know how good that pilot is. Stop fucking around with the plane.
Oh, he was going.
Well, this is not even, no.
Big ass plane.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, you'd
It's
have
unsafe.
to fight. You'd have to fight someone.
Unsafe aviation practice. I don't care how many aviation experts are.
It's in
Don't
Dubai.
dive the plane.
You'd have to fight someone when you get off the plane.
Of course, it was in Dubai airspace. They probably could never do it in fuck off.
Yeah, she's suing them. Yeah,
Yeah, I would too.
it's not fun.
I don't think that stuff is funny.
But that's not even a prank, is it?
No.
What else you got, F?
Last one we got. This is breaking today. Your boy Georges St-Pierre is a free agent. Got out of his contract.
Jesus.
What does that mean?
Apparently, GSP's attorney has got some fucking stones on him and got the deal done.
That's all this stuff is. It's about who has the more powerful attorneys, and that's why the UFC is so
Wow.
big, because they have the best attorneys in the game. But it's Georges St-Pierre, and he has money
Yeah.
and
So-
fame. Bellator will sign him like that. Biggest signing of all time.
Per Sean Al-Shadi's Twitter account, GSP says his lawyer terminated his contract after giving the UFC a deadline to fight on his old deal. Sounds like it's not a mutual decision. Make some comments about Dana not knowing what it's like to be a fighter. Says that it's completely illogical that this fight did not happen in Toronto because everybody would have won. Believes a deal could have been reached if Lorenzo was still there, but once the new owners came, all offers were off the table.
Correct.
And that it's up to guys like me, Conor McGregor, Anderson Silva, Jose Aldo, etc., to stand up for fighters' rights.
Correct.
So,
He's 100%
booyah,
right.
son. Georges
Wow.
St-Pierre, free agent.
Wow.
Telling you, man,
How
tides
old
are
is he now?
shifting.
How old is George?
It's George's. I mean, biggest free agent signing of all time. Bellator's going to throw the book at him.
They're going to throw the book at him.
They'll be the what? George
35.
He's 35.
35. A lot of fight left in him if he wants to keep fighting. But I mean, it's Georges St-Pierre. I mean, shit. Top 3 most famous guys of all time out of the UFC.
Who would you like to see him fight, and would you like to see him fight at the UFC?
No idea. No, he's not going to fight in the UFC unless these new owners get their shit together. But we don't want him to sign with the UFC. This is good for the sport, man. Him signing with Bellator changes the tides a little bit, you know. And with
More
the
eyes on
UFC, with
Bellator.
these new owners and Dana on the front cover of Men's Health, and you know, it's a gimmick.
He's on the
man.
cover of Men's Health?
Men's Health or Men's Fitness, I think.
How's he
Photoshopped
look?
like a motherfucker.
Photoshopped?
Yeah. Anyways, but for Georges St-Pierre to go to Bellator would be good for the sport, the brand. It's not that I dislike the UFC. I just want what's best for the fighters. The other thing is too is Jose Aldo came out and said he met with Dana and because remember Jose's always said we need a union. Jose's retiring. He did a press conference going, yeah, Dana told me to back off on the union stuff and I'll make more money. Which is tough. You know what I'm
said
saying?
that? Out
Yeah.
loud?
Yeah. Jose was like, yeah, Dana told me, forget about the union. I'll make more money. He goes, if you do a union, all you guys can get paid the same. People are going to make money, but you're going to get a smaller piece of the pie. Jose's like, what? It's interesting, man.
Wow.
It's a good time in MMA right now. Tides are turning.
So is Jose Aldo, he
Retired.
will not be, he's retired. He's not going to
Retired.
fight at
Nope.
all. Yeah.
Moving on. Damn, that's huge
That's a
breaking news.
bittersweet way to end.
Huge breaking news. Hey, great career. I'm
Great
not
career.
sad about it.
Great career.
It's good for him.
Yeah.
It's good to stop. Damn, that's huge. GSP getting out. But you think about it, there has to be some sort of language in the contract because guys like Shane, Georges St-Pierre, myself, and I'm not comparing myself to those two guys, but just we all had the similar contracts where that contract was framed and written before the Reebok deal and before this Fox deal. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so that has to void the contract somehow because when I signed this contract, you paid me this, this, and this, but I had a free market of sponsors. Well, now you want to continue to pay me this, but I can't have those sponsors. So that has to be their out. Mm-hmm. Has to be.
Well, it on Al-Shadi's Twitter account, like I read off a minute ago, he said his lawyer terminated his contract after giving the UFC a deadline to fight on his old deal. So if I'm interpreting that correctly, it sounds like his old deal had if I'm to retire or be injured or laid off for a certain amount of time, whatever, you have X amount of time for me to have another fight, and then I can terminate my contract. That's how that sounds to me.
That's what it sounds, but also
I don't
George
know.
is saying, I had Under Armour, I had this, and then now you want me to fight for this money for Reebok? That's not going to work. So they didn't come to agreement on that. And so by not coming to agreement on that and them not finding him in the amount of time, or framework, I should say, of the contract, that releases him from his contract.
I wonder if Reebok has gotten more of a black eye being part of this and why they wouldn't want to get out of the deal. Or maybe
Contractual. I mean, their thing is, I'm sure it's a longer plan. They're like, don't worry, there's going to be a little turmoil at first, but this ain't going away, man, unless they just decide to pay everyone more. But again, you know, UFC selling to WME, who fighting's not their passion.
right.
Entertainment, movies, TV, that's their passion. Of course, they're not going to understand a guy like GSP. You're letting a guy at GSP walk to the fucking other team. That's them not knowing the history of the UFC.
That's
GSP.
very true. That's a good
you know
point.
How big of a deal GSP.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking the face of Canada.
Yeah.
Talking about one of the most famous fighters to ever grace this earth. He's gonna go play for the other team.
That's amazing.
That's nuts.
You just let your golden boy go.
I mean, yeah, he's older, but when you talk about a guy of that
draw.
magnitude, and for how much money do you need? You're telling me you couldn't figure out some sort of contract to make it work where his Under Armour, you'd have to pay out his Under Armour deal for him to fight in Reebok? And you know what he would do for Reebok as far as kits and athletic gear?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
It's nuts.
It looks like ONE FC is kind of going after him.
Oh, don't do that, George. Don't.
Eric
do that.
Spicely, the guy who beat Thiago Santos a couple weeks ago, he tweeted that GSP told me the fight he's most interested outside of the UFC is Ben Askren.
That's just GSP's obsessed with wrestling and grappling. And, you know, he's a very high level wrestler. I get that. George, and I will text him after this. Do not listen. I love ONE FC and it's all great. Blah blah blah. You go to ONE FC, you disappear. As far as North America, Canada, you're gone.
Yeah.
Sign with ONE FC, see what happens to your career. You're gone.
Yeah.
You got to be.
Go to
you got to be.
Bellator.
Go to Bellator.
Yeah.
They have the money. You're gonna get revenue of the TV deals. You're gonna movies, whatever you want to do, man.
So even
Viacom.
if UFC stepped up and gave him like a crazy deal, you would say don't go to.
I would sign with the UFC.
would
Don't get it twisted.
You'd
Yeah,
sign. There's one big
UFC's
show
the
in
best in the world.
Yeah.
They're the best in the world at what they do,
And the best fighters.
and the best fighters. If you want to be, if depends what you want to do.
Would he get a title shot right away?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. But with if the UFC came to an agreement and they're going to give you the necessary money that Under Armour is paying, you know, the sponsors you lose out on, and you can go back and fight for the title right away, you sign with the UFC.
Sure. You get a piece
Don't
of-
ever get it twisted.
Yeah.
I know I can be a little negative on the UFC. There's only one real organization, it's the UFC, but they're not playing ball with GSP, so you go to Bellator.
And that's
what
a
you do.
really good point. They clearly don't know what they have.
No. It's just
'Cause they're not fans.
It's scary, man. Again, I have no skin in the game. I'm not on this ship anymore. I jumped that ship 2 years ago when I retired. I have nothing to do with the game. So, but as an outsider looking in and knowing some other details about the deal and people involved, they don't know what they're doing.
They just don't.
You got it's tough, man. I don't know how to say it. An example would be like if you have an actor. So it'd be like, all right, it's like Tom Hardy in, you know what I'm saying, playing a fighter.
Right.
He's not a real fighter.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you have him now. He's the head of it. You know what I'm saying? Like he's an entertainer, man. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's steering that ship. That's crazy.
Right.
It's crazy. But then you got egos with Dana, who's like, no, we can't pay him that much money because then everyone else can want that money. It's GSP, man.
Yeah. He's generated a lot of income and a lot of interest.
I guess they're figuring he's 35. It's GSP, man. Now you have Rory. Think about Rory versus GSP.
Wow.
Over in Bellator. You got Rory, you got GSP, you have Chael over there now.
Ben Henderson.
It's good, man.
Yeah.
It's good.
You got some exciting fighters over there. You got some really athletic, exciting fighters with
GSP's
not
a big
as stringent drug testing.
GSP's a big one. I bet you Shane signs with him soon.
And the plot thickens.
That is breaking news, Ev.
Good stuff, Evan.
I gotta milk this beaker, and I will be right back.
Go ahead.
All right.
We'll do ourselves a drop of knowledge.
What was your question, Ev? We're talking a little bit off air before we jump into this drop in knowledge with the kid.
Yeah.
He's been studying up on his knowledge.
Sure have. Sure have been studying up.
Yeah, no, I was just asking you about how long your first attempt at stand-up was, how long your first bit was. Because this weekend I attended my first wedding, which is weird to be at 29 years old going to your first wedding, I guess.
That is
I hadn't been to one
tad
since I was
weird.
like 10, so this was the first one I figured that actually counted.
Wow.
But I had my first wedding this weekend, and it was for my best friend of many, many, many years. So I had to do a best man speech. Hadn't talked in front of that many people. It was about 200 people in a while. And reading off a speech off a piece of paper, that's a chump move. Not doing that
cheesy,
shit.
yeah.
Not doing that. So
And I'm sorry to interrupt you because I want to hear this because at the funeral, a lot of people that are delivering like the speeches, they were reading straight from a piece of paper. And
That
I was
sucks.
like, hey, come on, man.
Go ahead, Ev.
Yeah, it was weird. I think I was the only person that didn't read off of a piece of paper, which is a little strange to me.
People just
But,
get nervous. They're not used to it. That's
I guess.
okay. Yeah, you know how it is, be.
Yeah, so I've been practicing for like the last month. There's like between like it ended up being around like 5.5 minutes long. Practiced it for like at least like a solid month. So I can't even imagine what you put into like 15 minutes of stand-up, let alone when like you do like a fucking hour-long special. That is insane.
Did you mess up at all?
It was the best run I had done, period.
That's good.
It's awesome.
People enjoyed it.
Killed it. Didn't not a stutter, not an
This is your
nothing.
best friend?
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah,
great,
those
dude.
best man speeches are tough.
And they're so important to send your buddy off to a new chapter.
It's also
in his
important to practice.
Yeah, you know what?
100%.
I found myself whenever people ask me if I was nervous or not, I found myself repeating something that I've heard. I think you say on this, like if you're not at least a little bit nervous, if you don't have nerves, you either don't care or you didn't prepare.
Correct.
And I did both, and I had both of those checked off.
Tight move.
So
off.
it went over, better than I could have ever hoped for it to go to. Used that pressure and those nerves to kind of help me rather than falter or anything like that.
The worst
it was
is
fun.
when-
It was really fun.
The worst when best man or the best women give their speech and then they only include like private shit that no one else can relate to. Like, how you doing, Cupcake? That's our thing.
Wow.
That's just our thing, Cupcake. Remember that night in Tahiti? Well, the rest of us don't know what the fuck is going on, lady.
I can deal with that, but there's
I
something,
don't like
there's
that.
something I can't deal with. There's one of the things that I can't deal with that's even worse is when they're corny. And I'll tell you something. Nobody likes mashed potatoes more than this guy. If you know him, he is a mashed potato freak, and he piled his plate on, and it was a white mountain.
Nothing worse.
And you're like,
Well,
oh,
of course,
Yeah.
always you know how many how many frogs she kissed before she found her prince? That's the reference.
had to kiss a couple frogs, and
How many dragons he had to slay before he finally found Cinderella? Well, okay, we all expect that. With my brothers, I didn't have anything prepared. Like, of course, I talk about my brother all day, but what I didn't expect is the emotions. Like, I couldn't get through it almost.
Are you kidding?
Couldn't get through
I
it.
cried. That's where I cried.
Couldn't
Weddings.
get through it.
So when you were giving speeches, you
About my brother, yeah. Talking about us as kids.
did your
and
brother
stuff.
cry too?
I don't know. He's kind of a serial killer. I couldn't see him. Everyone,
Dead behind the eyes.
everyone at the crowd did.
Just two black orbs. His eyes. Shark eyes.
Or when I was best man at Cody Donovan's wedding, I got up to give the speech, and it was like his wife's from the Philippines. There was 800 people in the crowd. It was like a stadium.
Oh my
You know,
God.
so story.
800?
There was so many
Did
people.
you get emotional then?
No, because I told the story of me and him is my first fight. It was like his second fight, and he met his wife that night.
Oh, wow.
It's a great story.
I love Cody.
He
Yeah,
met
you
his wife.
told it on
I
the
miss
show.
Cody.
Yeah.
I miss Cody.
Yeah, he's the best.
Fuck.
He met his wife that night. You know, so I told that story when we first met. Blah blah blah. So, yeah. Best man speech is important, man. Don't be a dick and mess it up.
Shout out to
Yeah.
Cody.
Universally
Donnie Brooke.
relatable. Nothing for no X's. Nothing that could even be possibly construed as fucked up. Just. And it's also not your stand-up comedy special.
Yeah,
So relax.
Jay's gonna hate me for this. Jay was a best man at our buddy's wedding years ago. You know, Jay doesn't do fucking public speaking. He had nothing prepared. He gets up there, Anthony, you're like my best friend. I'm just really happy for you. Enjoy your night. That's all. Hey, bro.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Hey, Jay.
So nervous.
Oh, something. He's just
Nothing.
nervous.
Nothing.
The best.
I definitely
You
did
know-
not eat before I did it.
Yeah, I can't eat.
I didn't eat the entire day. I think I had like a couple, like 2 beers.
Because you were
throughout the
nervous,
day,
but you
and
felt
that was it.
amazing after you were done.
I bet you
I
guys
felt
got.
like a fucking king of the goddamn world after I was
I
done.
bet you guys got after it that night, huh?
Oh,
I
sure
feel like
did.
you and your friends are a couple 1-2 boozers.
Sure do.
You felt amazing afterwards?
Yeah, I totally understand how much you guys like get off on it.
When I was 19 years
I haven't
old,
spoken in front of that many people in forever. It was really fun.
when I was 19 years old, my father's friend probably he drove his car into a tree. Whether or not that was deliberate or not is not really to be talked about. But my father couldn't make the eulogy, and I had to read the eulogy
Thanks,
for him.
Dad.
Yeah, and I was 19, and I had to read it. It was tough. It was a tough one. But
Where was the wedding at, Ev?
It was in Westlake.
Westlake Village, yeah.
Yeah. Brian.
Where's
knows.
that
It's
It's
by
farther
two
than
towns.
Calabasas.
It's a little bit past Calabasas.
In Ventura County.
Between Oxnard and Calabasas?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's out there. It's a nice area, actually.
Yeah.
There's Lake Sherwood. I mean, it's big houses, really.
Yeah.
nice.
It's a nice area.
Oh, I know. I meant to tell you guys. I meant to talk about it earlier, too. So my little baby tiger, my son, had like this weird rash all over his body. I'm like, fuck, hope it's not chicken pox. And of course, his mom, Joe, was freaking out. She's like, we got to go to the emergency room. Yeah. And then it hit. Yeah, of course, right? And I'm like, no, he's fine. He's the happiest kid you've ever seen, ever of all time. Right. He's always happy. Never cries, nothing. but he's always happy anyway. He just has this rash on his neck and starting to spread all over. I'm like, God damn it. And then I text Dr. Drew and he goes, check the app Heal. I'm like, what? This app Heal I downloaded, put my information. I had a fucking top-notch doctor at my house an hour later.
What?
No extra charge,
I am
nothing.
getting that app.
Came to my house. He's like, what can I, had his assistant with him. He's like, what can I do? Looked at him. He's like, he was sick like a week ago. I went, yeah, I had like a little, flu, runny nose. His voice is weird, but he was still fine. He goes, this is just that prolonged. I bet you by tomorrow it's cleared up. Sure enough, cleared up. You take your insurance.
Could there be a better
The app's called Heal. I think it's only in Los Angeles, though, because I told my brother it's not in Denver.
I am getting that.
Dude came right to the crib. Now they can't give shots like tetanus shots, or they can't give vaccination stuff like that.
Refrigerated or something.
Yeah, so he's like, they're trying to figure it out. They're going to be able to do that, but
wow.
They can basically do everything else.
How about a flu shot?
Yep, they do flu shots.
I'm all over.
It was dope, man.
I should get a flu shot. Do you get flu shots?
Sure don't, grown man. Not worried about the flu.
So they take insurance and everything?
They take insurance. No extra cost, nothing.
That's fucking crazy.
I'm telling you, and think about it. Sunday night, it's
wow.
Yeah, it's the hours are 8 to 8.
That's the new face of healthcare.
I was talking to the doctor about it. And he's like, "Yeah, man,
that's how you make your money."
Do. Yeah,
as a doctor, right?
So he was saying it's only 8 to 8, but Sunday was like 6 o'clock. I was like, "Fuck, what are we gonna do?" My girl's like, "Let's go to the emergency room." I'm like, "You don't go to the emergency room for that. Right. We can wait tomorrow for that to see the doctor." And then I was like, "Oh, fucking Dr. Drew talked about that app." Boom. God. Hour later, dude was like, "How can I help you?" Brilliant doctor.
What does it cost? What did it cost you?
It covered the insurance. So my son's insurance, the copay, $35 maybe. He came to the crib.
I am so all over that.
Right? It's the best thing I've ever done. Anytime baby T needs a doctor, or me for God. I wish I had this when I was fighting. My shoulder, my wrist and shit, my neck.
What?
It's great, man. He can write prescriptions. It's the best.
Man, oh man.
I know.
The
doctor was awesome.
Heal.
Doctor's so cool.
I gotta see if my wife knows about that.
Yeah, I don't need you're crunk about it, huh?
I'm very crunk about it.
Yeah, it's great.
I love that shit. We have to waste time. I don't want to go to the doctor. That takes forever. Do they do checkups?
Whatever you want, man.
Can you
physicals?
Check my butt.
Yeah, they'll do that. Are you got drop knowledge?
Yeah.
There's a drop knowledge for your ass.
That's a great dropping knowledge. It was reminded. My dropping knowledge is when we were talking about the heroin thing and posting that video reminded me of something of just personal responsibility. And I think the question it's really more of a question for you guys to ponder, and that is that we seem to be living in a culture, and I was reminded of this through this election, where people seem to, it's a victim culture in a lot of ways. This notion that I've been victimized, whether I'm a member of a minority or if I'm a member of a gender group that's like, whether I'm transgender, if I'm a woman, and I've been victimized. Women have always been victimized at the expense of, or to the benefit of usually men and the male power structure. And you hear a lot of this. And then you hear in the same breath, we need councils, we need investigative committees on college campuses for misconduct. We now should be monitoring verbal aggression, verbal assaults. So how you speak should be considered a crime in some instances. And you're hearing more and more of this, and especially in the media, and the media seems to be behind this kind of talk. And what I think we need to look out for is the fact that if you're really serious about helping a group who have been discriminated against gain their power, their own power, if you're serious about uplifting a group that has not benefited in all aspects of society the way certain groups have, let's just say white males, I don't know, is the way to do that to regulate, punish, come up with investigative committees? Is the way to do that to broaden the notion of what assault is? Is the way to do that to broaden the notion and to lump in, verbal assault and consider that also a form of sexual assault? Is that the way to do it? Is the way to do that to take power away and to criticize what is and has been traditionally the power structure? Or is there a better way? Or is it better to empower that group of people by taking personal responsibility? Let me give you an example. The UFC, in my opinion, and I think historians will look back on this, has done more for women's rights than has any academic institution, any feminist like Gloria Steinem, and these people that essentially are nothing but very critical of the way things are and paint women and paint minorities as victims instead of as human beings with their own autonomy. I don't think that, I think it's way more inspiring to see what Amanda Nunes and Ronda Rousey and Holly Holm have done with their blood, sweat, and tears and their physical actions than someone like Naomi Wolf or someone who writes a book like The Beauty Myth who says that men make women dress up to look pretty because we don't like them and because we want to keep them down. I don't think that's true, and I don't think that's the best way to move our society forward. That is my dissertation. I think you do better than to paint people as victims. Let's all take personal responsibility for our safety and for who the fuck we are. I think we'll be better off. Amen.
Boom.
Gadoosh.
Yeah.
Well, we got some fan questions.
Fan questions.
All right, first fan question. First fan question is submission of the year for Mackenzie Dern. What do you think her potential is? And if you have not seen this completely absurd submission,
Did she throw
here
her?
it is.
Oh.
It's a shoulder lock, rear naked.
Omoplata rear naked, yeah?
Well,
different?
you'll see. Now watch this.
That looks so...
Nope, watch B. She gets her neck when she
Blocks her
flips.
from swinging over.
Gadoosh. Then, oof. This girl's in such trouble. Look at her shoulder right now. So she locks the legs and she gets the neck with the shoulder lock.
Wow.
Amazing, right?
Wow.
Insane.
Yeah, and she's a cutie.
That's a crazy move. I don't even see what's really going on there.
It's like think about seeing a omoplata
Yeah.
if you were on a clear cage and you could see underneath. It's the same position on the shoulder, and then she gets her rear naked.
Oh,
She
okay.
told her neck 'cause she rolled.
Wow.
It's rear naked choke with a shoulder lock.
Great move.
Yeah, but I don't think she was
Do you
gonna
have to
tap
be
in
super
shoulder.
flexible for that?
I mean, Mackenzie Dern. I mean, you're talking about. I mean, the best women's jiu-jitsu practitioner in the game, MMA
Wow.
by far.
Wow.
She's a beast, man. Submission of the year for sure. Her striking. If you watch, I watched the fight live. Her striking's just, she has some work to do. She can go far in the UFC right now, just based off her grappling. But her takedowns and her striking need to obviously get better. But she's amazing to watch. She'll be a beast if she just works on her stand-up.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was a dope submission. Yeah.
Insane move to pull. All right, next question. I know it's still early, but do you guys have any plans for Callen's 50th birthday? Hashtag Disneyland.
What are we going to do for your 50th? Don't you want to do something cool?
Yes.
What do you want to do?
I've been thinking about it. I can't figure it out yet.
It's-
I might just want to have my boys around
January
and a dinner at my house.
January what?
January 26th. We may have a dinner at Bianconi, Fabrizio's new restaurant on 3rd
We're
Street.
going there on Wednesday night, though.
Guess who's not going to be there?
Why aren't you going
I
to be
have
there?
to go to Calgary. I'll
I
be in
thought
Calgary.
you were going Thursday.
I have to leave on freaking Wednesday because I'm doing press on Thursday. And I'm sorry about that.
Well, now I'm definitely
You
not
have
going.
to go.
No, man.
It's great food. You have to go. You got to show support. He wants you there.
He did send me an invite.
Yeah, you got to go. Please go. Everybody's going to be there. Grillo will be there. Everybody's going to be there.
All right, I'll be there.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I have to be in Calgary. I'm doing, by the way, Yuck Yucks Thursday, Friday, Saturday of this weekend.
what was I going to tell you? Oh, but for your birthday, we just can't do that. We do that all the fucking time.
I know. I think I'm going to have somebody cook at my house. Do you think we should go somewhere?
Yeah, don't send me to your house.
My new house.
I know, man.
Where do you think we should go?
Scope was always a blast. Fabricio's is fun. I feel like we should mix it up.
No, do you think we should go
Oh,
somewhere?
let's do
Do you
this.
think we should go to...
Oh, you're saying like destination?
Yeah. Is that what you're saying?
Vegas for a night?
I don't know. God damn it. Maybe. I'm 50.
We got to celebrate somehow.
Got to do something big, right?
Yeah. I think if we get Frank, Piven, you,
Yeah, we'll get a good group.
get a good group.
We'll get a good group.
Stevie.
Yeah.
Rogan's not going. He
We'll
don't-
make
he don't
Rogan come.
leave.
He'll
He's not
come.
going. No way. Not a chance.
You're not getting him out.
No, not a chance. Either way, we're gonna do something.
Yeah. Just do
I
a
think
bunch
just
of
for
blow
one
and die.
night. Just for one night.
Just one night. Okay. I mean, it is my 50th.
You only get one of them.
You only get one of them.
And you know what that means, right?
What?
You're in fourth quarter of life.
Well, I was thinking about that. I've been alive longer than I'm not going to live as long as I've been alive, probably. In other words,
You might live to 100, but those last 10
Maybe.
years are going to be tough.
ooh, it was tough.
Yeah, you're not going to remember much.
Tough 10 years.
Yeah, your teeth. See ya.
Hold on.
Well, everyone's when they're older, their teeth.
All right, man. Dentures. The machine breaks down.
You have 20. How weird is that? You have 20 like legit years
I
left.
got 20 good years left.
Because then when you're 75, it's like, all right,
Yeah.
you're going to be just touring,
Knowing me, probably, but maybe not.
not selling tickets.
Oh, jeez.
75, who the fuck?
Hey, George Carlin was doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like 75. Hey, come see the kid.
So wait, what's going on with you guys?
75.
You refer to yourself as, you have to
does
sleep
anybody
with the
have
kid.
their own? I
have
can't
to.
sit on these airplane seats anymore. My back really is giving out.
It's
Yeah.
going to be tough.
Any of you young ladies out there?
Your stand-up's just
great
dropping
pubic hair.
knowledge for an hour now
Oh God.
as you're older.
And the other thing, another thing about thinking about the way.
Oof.
Yeah, it'd be tough.
That is weird. We got to do something for your 50th, though. You only get one
I
of
can't
them.
believe I'm 50. That
Me
hurts
neither.
I remember
That's
when I was
crazy.
37.
Yeah, I don't want to
We're
hear about
old.
it, though, Uncle Rico. What else you got, Ev?
Damn it.
We got to do something. for
Uncle
sure.
Damn
Rico.
That hurts
I'm
me.
I'm 21 with 1 year of BJJ experience.
Fight.
too
Go to
late?
the UFC.
Is it too late to get into MMA and fight at
No.
a high standard professionally? I'm willing to put in the insane hours to do it.
Not all, sir. I think you know the answer to that question.
How-
21.
how
I started
athletic?
when I was 24, 25. What are you talking about?
How athletic are you?
Who
kind of
cares?
experience
Just-
do you have?
It doesn't matter. Let's see. You're 21. It's like young as fuck. Randy started when he's goddamn, whatever, 42.
Well, Randy been wrestling his whole life and was an Olympic level wrestler. Now listen, if you're just a regular guy and you've been doing a year of BJJ and you really like it, I don't know if you want to confuse really liking BJJ with what MMA and competitive
Don't hate
MMA
on his
means.
dream. Listen, I only did BJJ for a year. You don't know, man.
You're a pro athlete.
He might like it. You know, there's a lot of guys who weren't pro athletes who turned to fighting.
I'm just saying.
He's 21.
I think it makes a difference.
I think he's 21,
Yeah.
and he has a dream of fighting. You're young as fuck, man.
Yeah.
You can for sure do it. But there's way worse athletes, I'm sure, than this guy that fought professionally.
Just be honest with yourself. Just be honest with
Just
with
do
yourself.
it. Don't listen to me or Bryan Callen. Just
but
fucking
be honest with yourself.
pursue
Are
it.
you athletic enough, and do you think you?
No,
can-
no, no. Athletic ability has nothing to do with fighting. There's guys who are phenomenal fighters who are not that athletic. Don't go based off if you're the fastest in the class, if you're the strongest guy in the class, if you're the biggest. That's why there's weight classes. That's why they have all these different forms of mixed martial arts and martial arts. I don't give a fuck if you're a high school standout. Fighting's not always about being the most athletic. It's just not. It's not the way it works. You're 21. You're young. You've been doing jiu-jitsu. You're obsessed with it. You obviously have a work ethic. Sky's the limit. Go get it.
Jeez.
There you go. Next one. Simple. Who do you think will win the World Series?
Hoping the
Cubs.
There you go. They
we
have
both
it. Chicago
agree.
Cubs.
Last question, Ev. Yeah, we got. I want the Cubs to win. They haven't won for how fucking long?
100. I want to say 106 years.
I feel like Chicago's gonna.
108 years.
Chicago
yeah.
needs this.
It's been 158 years.
Chi-Town needs it.
Been 296 years.
I watched the game last night. First baseball game I've watched in 4 years.
Do you make it through the whole game?
Made it through the whole game.
Bravo.
Well, right now, it's
Kershaw just
exciting
doing
games.
work. Not really. You didn't see it,
I think
did you?
so.
B? Did you watch it?
No, I watched the one before.
There was one run. Kershaw shut everyone down.
Yeah. Well, that's a
It was
problem.
so
too.
boring.
Those pitchers, remember
Especially
when Kurt
Kershaw
Schilling
was so fucking good. But the games before have been amazing. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, because I saw the highlights, saw like the last inning. It's like, I'm going to watch the whole game. It was so boring.
Right.
One run.
one run. I'll
Early,
watch.
too. Like second
Do we have a
round.
game tonight?
No, I don't think so. I'm not sure.
Oh,
I think
all
I
right.
said second round.
Let's get into these last two. These are really good. Would you guys ever consider getting a Fighter in the Kids studio pet? Something like a fish or a lizard, a hamster or a guinea pig would be hilarious.
Definitely
too.
not.
I wanted an ant farm. I don't know why we don't have a Fire Kid ant farm. Can someone
fucking
please
weird,
send us one?
Man, my family left and I forgot to water the ant farm. We had an ant farm and I like those ants and I forgot to water them.
They died?
And they all died.
You got to water the ants?
Got to water them. Gotta give them water, and I forgot.
Well, we're
They
here
all
twice
died.
a week. I feel like they
least.
don't need water every day.
Somebody will forget, and we're gonna.
Nah, if you left the Keeler Evan, it's so easy to
somebody's
keep
gonna
these things alive.
overwater, or they're gonna
You
underwater.
know what someone's gonna do? They're gonna move it out of the studio and like drop
That's right.
them. I want
There's
to. I
gonna
want
be fucking ants
I want
everywhere.
Fire and the Kid Ant Farm though. Like they have big ones, man. I'd love to put it right over there.
Man,
they're just our homies.
Radiolab did a special on ants about how ants fight. The minute an ant sees an ant from a different species,
It's scrapping.
they're like, I'm fucking gonna kill you. And they just come out. They don't even miss a beat.
I love ants.
They're just like, "Wah!" They run at each other.
I love ants.
And then there's one species of ant that has taken over the entire like world of ants in at least this country. Like one species of ants, if you were to look under the
Those
earth,
little black ones.
I don't know what they are, but they are vicious. They get together as
'Cause
groups
there's
and they're
two
like,
different
you guys,
kinds.
kill them. They are different. They're racist.
Because they're racist. Because there's
they're
the big old
genocidal.
fat fire ants that you don't want to. You see those? Like God, dog.
fuck
I call
around
them
with
the Canelo ants. That means cinnamon in Spanish. It means
You talking
cinnamon.
about the Canelo
You
ants?
talking about the Canelo ant, or you have the dark night ants, the little tiny black ones who do work. I celebrate those and they're cute.
Yeah.
Then you have the fat black army ants.
No, you don't want to fuck
You don't
around
want to
with
fuck
our
with
ants.
those things.
No, please.
They look like the red ones, but they're black
Fire
and shiny.
ants are a motherfucker.
Never. Yeah. Talking about you're talking about the red ones.
I'm talking about the red
You don't
ones.
want a Canelo ant.
You don't want Canelo ants.
That's why I'm talking about Canelo ant.
Canelo
I
ants.
stuck my hand there for a bet one time. They fucked
you
my
may as
hand
well
up.
put your hand on an open
On
flame.
fire.
Uh-huh.
Ants are fucking amazing.
They
man.
don't mess around.
They're strong as fuck.
They
too.
fight.
Those little ones are so cute. We need to make an ant shirt.
I don't-
Ant army.
No, man.
Why
No,
not?
that's a terrible idea.
Dude, who?
Come on, bro.
Our logo should be an ant.
Absolutely not, bro. You're getting carried away.
And we have an ant farm.
Hey, man, you're getting
And we call them
carried
the Fire and Kid Army.
I say no.
And we put little helmets on them.
I don't think so.
Fighter and the Kid Army
doing it.
ants.
Yeah, but they're like legit army soldiers.
Ants.
All right, last question, Ev.
That was
Shout out
weird.
to ants.
Yeah, Brendan loves
I used to
ants,
eat them when
apparently.
I was a kid. Used to lie to my friends. Said the black ones taste like chocolate, the red ones taste like cinnamon.
And you ate them?
I used to eat them. They would dare me. I'd eat them. I also used to drink the water out of the sewage drain.
Come on.
You know the storm
fuck?
drain.
Yeah.
When it would rain, I'd just put my mouth right down
Damn
there
it.
and
God
suck it
damn
in.
it.
That water was so fucking fresh. Rainwater.
It's kind of also a lot. It's also got a lot of like oil in it.
I
and
felt good,
debris.
man. I felt good.
Damn it.
The gutters of Aurora, Colorado. Fresh
What the
rain.
fuck are you talking?
And then my friends
You
would bet
ate
me.
ants? What do ants taste like?
They're just small and crunchy.
God damn,
A
man.
lot of cultures eat ants. I don't know why I'm
Hey,
weird
dude, you're
for
getting
it.
kind of crazy. You got a faraway look in your eye right now.
Those were the days.
You know what they say if you want drugs? If you want to find drugs, walk along the highway. Because apparently when people get pulled over, they throw their drugs out the window. And it's very common. So you can find just bags of blow and weed and everything else. Isn't
That's
that fun?
interesting.
Yeah. So if you're hard up.
If you're an
walk
addict,
along-
stroll along the highway.
Walk along,
Trip
stroll
down
that
the old
highway.
101.
I know we just showed you a video of a kid crying his eyes out because his mom found some drugs on the highway, but
Yeah.
for those
You see-
addicts,
You see that group of guys that I think they robbed a bank and they started throwing money out the car, all like dollar bills, and it caused a major melee. The cops couldn't get to them because cars
Tight
were like,
move.
what the fuck?
Smart.
Yeah, stopped.
all right, last question, Ev.
All right, last one. I know you guys don't do creep line anymore, but I've got a hell of a story. Callen sexcapade level.
Bring it.
So me and a girl match on Tinder. Couple days of conversation leads to a date. Meal goes well. We head out for drinks. Drink turns into dancing. Dancing to a little bump and grind. So we head back to hers. End up having sex like a sack of potatoes. It was terrible. So after the sex, I decide I'm going to bail. Homeboy ain't staying for cuddles. But I need a shit after the meal, and it's a good bit to my flat. So I decide, fuck it, I'll take a shit at hers.
Oh, there you go.
So I get semi-dressed, head to the toilet, and about 4 minutes into dropping a deuce, she opens the door and asks to blow me while I take a shit.
No.
I declined and bailed ASAP. Please discuss.
You're talking about a blunkin.
Yes, sir.
Dude, she wanted to blow him while he was taking a shit.
You got a real freak on your hands.
Wow.
That'd be a huge turnoff.
What the fuck, man? I can't think of anything grosser.
That's a great creep line.
Do you want me to blow you while you're taking a shit? First of all, why didn't you lock the door? Second of all, is that story true? Third of all, if it is true, I'm so intrigued but so turned on.
I feel sick.
Fourth of all, fifth of all, I have my hands over my mouth right now because I'm freaking out. I can't think of anything worse.
You got a freak on your hands. That's all I'll tell you.
I mean,
You got a toilet girl on your hands, mate.
it's hot in there and it's pooey. And
You doing it though?
Fuck no.
I'm not doing it. I can't.
You're not
do
doing it.
No, that is.
I can't.
Not even for the story.
She wouldn't even got that out. I'm like, what the? Get out of here.
Yeah. No.
So embarrassing.
Yeah, I can't do
Ugh.
it. I don't know what to
Well, I
say
guess
about
should end
that.
on that. There's no advice. Just you got a freak in your hands. Hey, Master Kim, all new. Master Kim Black Belt, Tiger tees, and Master Kim's Big Brown Bear tees. New design, new soft-ass tees for that ass, both in black.
Yeah, outdid yourself on this. Outdid yourself.
I tried. The designer sure did. Master Kim, Tiger, and Bear tomorrow night. This we're recording this podcast on this. It's Monday right now. Tomorrow night, Tuesday, 5 p.m. Pacific, tfatk.com. You know these bitches will go fast. Master Kim's are our best sellers. So get them while they're hot. We ordered a bunch of them, but you never know. They're like Yeezys out in the streets, kids. Master Kim Black Belt, Master Kim Big Brown Bear. They're dropped tomorrow night. 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific, tfatk.com. Brea is the October 26th. We're in Brea Improv. Then we're up in New York on November 3rd, Gramercy Theater, and then we're in Florida and Atlanta mid-November, I should say. Either way, Brea, that bitch, I think there's 50 tickets left. New York is selling well. Palm Beach, New York, Atlanta, get them, tfatk.com. Go see Bryan the Kid Count at Yuck Yucks in Calgary, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yes, sir.
Get your Maple Leaf whores on. tfatk.com. Master Kim coming for that ass. This is the Fine Kid. We're out.